on the intro bit. I gotta make an intro video. I gotta make intros and outro videos. Y'all tripping. All right. It's been a long fought day. How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? I apologize for the delay. I appreciate your patience. Welcome to This and That, where we're talking about this, that, and everything in between. It has been a very unexpected day today. I actually had to start again an hour late. I was on the phone with tech support about the internet, so they're supposed to give me a call back during the broadcast at some point in time to double check and make sure that the internet is still functioning. So we're still dealing with that ongoing problem over the past month with not having functional internet service from the supposed to be best 5G mobile service in the country, if not across the world. So we're kind of stuck with the fact that their devices aren't currently working for the mobile hotspot system, and we're kind of stuck with the fact that the network keeps shut. Well, the network isn't shutting off; the device itself is shutting off and not providing the network, and that's kind of the issue that we're having right now. So we're still kind of twiddling our thumbs, trying to figure out what's going on with the network, because we've been losing connections, and since we've been losing connections, we're trying to figure out what can we do to fix that. That I personally can't do anything, because I mean I'm spending hundreds of dollars a month for a service that I'm not receiving, but everyone else can do something about it, and they have not yet done anything about it. So I am a little bit perturbed by the situation. if that's a good way to put being pissed off. So good news. I talked to one of the better fans of the show, Mr. Pibbs, who he learned from some of my experiences, and he started up his own gaming platform. So he started doing his own thing, streaming video games, and he did a good job of getting his startup together. But like I told him, you gotta put a lot of effort into running it. He went and segued trying to get somebody else to back him up on it the way I was trying to get him to back me up on it. Let's see how well that works, because you're only as strong as your weakest link, and when my link was weak, so was my ability to be successful. So let's see. Today we were supposed to be talking about the ways that we can improve our eating plan, our ability to get our grub on a budget. And I actually did a lot of research on it, more research than what I normally would put in on any particular one topic. But I thought that it was pretty neat that I was finding a lot of different ways that I could benefit this particular topic. So I just kept running it. So I said, oh, well, let me just dive in and just find a whole plethora of ways for us to make it make sense. And one of the reasons why I did that was specifically because I thought that when we're dealing with modern society's inflation, and the more that we maintain stable non-COVID related scenarios, the longer we experience inflation, because more people are going to spend more money. More people are going to get hired for work that's going to be paying them a little bit better jobs. Those people that are going to get paid a little bit more improved wages are going to be wasteful with their money instead of investing it the way I've been recommending you guys to invest it. And as a result, you're going to have more people in situations where they're spending every dollar that they make. One of the reasons why they really put the responsibility on the poor is because the poor is wasteful. That's why they're poor. The rich only buy what they need to buy, not what they don't need to buy. And when they spend money, they actually either spend money because they need to spend money to get something, or they spend money because they need to spend money to not have to pay taxes on that money. But either way, shape, or form, even spending money is a profit for the rich-minded individuals, not a collateralized debt. So I like to try to encourage everybody to find ways to save money and spend money so that we have more money to make more money for us. And one of the ways that we spend a lot of money outside of wasteful spending on bullshit that we really don't need, we actually waste money on bare necessities because we do not pay attention to budgeting our money for things like food, groceries, stuff like that. Uh, the day-to-day operations like cleaning products and other such things. We typically just go and buy whatever the quote unquote best is, whether we're buying it because of the name brand or we're buying it because of the commodity itself, but we're not actually buying for the sake of being fiscally responsible. You notice that the wealthiest people talk about how the wealthy get wealthy and stay wealthy because they live modestly. Modestly means that they're not overspending unnecessarily. Sometimes they do pay a little bit more for better quality products that have durability, but more often than not, instead of going from the base model to the top tier model just for the sake of having the top tier model, they will go from how you doing, Carl? They will go from, you know, not having something to having something because they need to have something equivalent to that. I think I told a story one time before about how one of the people that was working in one of my warehouses had that they were pretty good at 7 and 8 figure income kind of lifestyle, and they lived so casual you wouldn't know that they were borderline rich. They were definitely making well over a couple $100,000 a year, and you would look at the fact that they walked around with, you know, short sleeve shirt, shorts, and flip flops because they didn't need to do anything else. It's Florida, you know. And the fact is that the warehouse has policy that you're supposed to have sleeves, you're supposed to have pants, you're supposed to have, you know, closed-toe shoes on. So, you know, this person just went to the nearest Walmart, bought the cheapest $5 shirt, $10 pair of pants, and a pair of $20 closed-toe shoes, and used it for the sake of going into that warehouse, and then threw it in the trash after they were done with it because they didn't need it after that particular day. But the fact is that to show up at the warehouse, they didn't put on a $2,000 suit with $5,000 shoes to show off the fact that they had money. They just, you know, got the basic necessities to meet the bare requirements of showing up for the site, meeting the rules and regulations of the site, and then not actually having to waste a bunch of money trying to do it. On today's show, we're talking about how it's beneficial for us to spend less money on buying groceries, and there's some ways that we can go about doing that. And I want to start off by talking about first, I know that a lot of us like fresh foods, and fresh foods are really good, but sometimes fresh foods can be more expensive. So if you want fresh foods, for those of you that want fresh foods, you got to pay for convenience. For those of you that want to save money on food, you might not get your food 100% fresh. You might get your food frozen. You have to understand that the difference between a 75-cent bag of or $2 bag of pre-shredded frozen lettuce versus the $4 to $5 head of lettuce that you get from the farmer's market is the price that you pay for lettuce. So one of the first things that we will start talking about doing in today's show is specifically to put out a idea. Now, we don't typically simply coupon clippers might do this, and the occasional frugal spender will do this. We don't pay attention to this, but there's a unit price measurement on most items, especially groceries. And that unit measurement, whether that unit measurement is per ounce, per milliliter, per pound, because you got things that are weighed by the gram, things are weighed by the pound, and that unit measurement will show how much you're paying per item, or how much you're paying per quantity of item. And if you're paying attention to that, instead of you going into the store and saying, oh, well, the smaller one is cheaper than a larger one, the smaller one might be overall cheaper than the larger one, but the smaller one is not actually cheaper than the larger one because the unit price is different by about 5 or 10 cents per unit. If you looked at it like Bitcoin, you'd be like, nah, I want the one that's the lower value that I got to pay for that has a higher result at the back end. if you think about it like money, but when you're thinking about it like food, do you really want to buy it because it's $4, or do you want to buy it because it's 4 cents per unit, where you have 40 units or 400 units if it's $4, as opposed to if it was 40 cents a unit and you only had 10 units. If you're thinking about quantity, you want more for the price of less, which means that you want to get the lowest unit price and get the largest quantity of units for that low unit price. And then that is the total amount that you're paying for that particular type of product. Now, if you're paying attention to that, when you get it back to the house, you're going to have to learn moderation. You're going to have to learn portion control, because, I mean, even if you're getting 400 units, if you're consuming 10 units a day, shit's only going to last you 40 days. But you got 400 units, though. If you only have 40 units, you would only get one a day every day. And if you're consuming 10 units at 40 cents a unit, you consuming 10 units, that's 4 days. So you just got to think about moderation. You got to think about quantity. And there is a little bit of quality in quantity, especially when you're dealing with food. But you're not trying to go buy semi-spoiled food on clearance. You're trying to buy seemingly fresh but frozen foods or canned foods that is portioned in a certain way, where per unit you're not spending a lot of money on certain foods. So we thought that it would be a good idea for us to go ahead and run the show today and start giving you guys some ways that you guys could find pretty good meals. Now, I know a lot of us don't like to cook, but if you cook from home, especially if you're coming up with some of these strategies, then you would find better ways to eat. You would find better ways to make little tips and tricks, ideas at the house. I can actually do a laundry list of cooking items. That it would take me some work to put it together, but I would throw it up. If I did put something like that together, I throw it up and put it into the community section of the channel, where you guys could see different ways that you could make some of these items, so that you would be able to have yourself a meal. So first, let's look at, I'm gonna go down a list of some of these things. And one of the reasons why I'm gonna go down a list of some of these things is because I just want you guys to see, like, first, start off breakfast. Now, truth, I didn't even write this one on the list. And the reason why I didn't write it on the list was because, I think I'm probably one of very few people that roll like this. But like eggs, if you just ate eggs for breakfast, if that's all you had was like 4 eggs and some cheese and maybe some hot sauce, you're what sometimes they're like 10 to 15 cents per egg. So I mean, if you just had like eggs plus scrambled cheese eggs or something like that, that probably would be like $1.25 breakfast, easy. But you also have omelets that you can make if you're doing breakfast, where if you bought like an onion, and that's like a $3 onion, or if you're getting like the small little baby onions or something like that, and then you want to chop that stuff up and throw it into the omelet. You make a couple of omelets for you and your partner. They might be around $5 per meal. When you start throwing meats into the fold, that's when you start getting a little bit expensive. But I was like, hold on, let me find some like reasonable $5 meals, and that would actually make sense. And one of the reasons why eggs wasn't on the list is because eggs are sold by the carton. They're sold by the half dozen, by the dozen. So the unit price per egg for the meal isn't really calculated on there. But if you took 2 to 4 eggs, 4 to 6 eggs, you mix that shit together, you would have a pretty decent breakfast, and would be spending a couple dollars to make that shit work. So let's go ahead and slide in, and let's start talking about some of these meals. So like breakfast, and these are this is the type of stuff that mama would have made, but I ain't never thought about making this shit when I decided to go in the kitchen and cook some shit. Overnight oats. What the fuck? When I seen that, I was like, yo, this show is going to be crazy. Because look at this. You've got rolled oats, milk or yogurt. Now, the rolled oats is like $1 worth of oats. The milk or yogurt's like $1. Y'all can see those. Y'all get those little individual milk cartons from the store. Get you some honey or some maple syrup with whatever's in the fridge. and that's like 50 cents. You get you some toppings like fruits, nuts, all that shit. That's like $2. And then the total cost of that meal is $4.50. So you mix the oats in the milk or the yogurt, and that's going to be your sweetener. You throw sweetener in there, then you let it sit overnight, and then you top it with your choice of fruits and nuts and whatever like that. $4.50 meal. That's breakfast right there. You're setting it up. So ladies, I know y'all love like simple shit like that. Y'all can throw that stuff together. Fellas, if y'all trying to look for something a little bit more masculine, peanut butter banana toast. You talking about protein diet right there. You're talking about the kind of, if you trying to bulk up some, there you go. Peanut butter banana toast. You got a whole grain or wheat bread. I would do the whole grain. So the whole grain wheat or the white bread. You can use either one, but I would do like the wheat bread. Grab that, or grab the whole grain. Whole grain's better. You get you a whole grain bread. That's like $1 for the bread. The peanut butter is like $1.50 worth of peanut butter. Bananas like 25 cents. You're spending $2.75 unless you're using a bunch of bread. Unless you're trying to get like a whole like 10 or 15 sets of this. If you're just doing like, typically toast is 2 slices of bread. Because we typically use we toast our toast in pairs. 2, one at the top, one at the bottom. But I mean, if you're trying to do like 2 or 3 like toast sandwiches, you could do that. And you're still, if you did 2 sets of this, you'd be looking at $3 or $3.50, which is still under $5. Or no, I'm sorry, it would be $5.50 because it's $2.75 a piece. So it'd be $5.50 if you did 2 sets of peanut butter and banana toast. So 2 peanut butter banana toast, $5.50. You know, you got TV dinners right now that you can go and get that are like $5, not even fucking filling. You probably got to eat 2 of them bastards. You got some like the Hungry Man meals. Those are like $5 for a Hungry Man meal. You got the banquet dinners. Those are like $4 to $6 for a banquet dinner. But you can go and get the they've got the little food baskets that you can get, little frozen food plates where they have like rice and beef and like beef stroganoff and stuff like that in a little for like $3.25 a bowl, and it's a pretty big size bowl. And then you got those other little mini banquet, the one with the green label. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The one with the green label that is sitting there with the like $1 and some change a piece. Well, you got to eat 2 of those. You really got to eat 2 of those. There ain't no joke about that. You really got to eat 2 of those so that you can try to get full. So if you're trying to eat on a regular basis, you're sitting over here like 2 TV dinners per meal, 3 TV dinners at a time, where you're looking at almost $7, $8 a day, $10 a day for eating. But this right here, you get your 2 peanut butter sandwiches. You just spend $5.50. People look. What is it? I can't think of the holiday. It's coming up. It's Kamjuar. Help me out, y'all. Help me out with pronouncing that. It's one of those holidays that's coming up where you guys got to fast. Shit, you ain't got no choice but fast. We're looking at the price of the damn food, but you be able to get in there and get it done because you got things like scrambled eggs with spinach. I know some folks don't like scrambled eggs, but if you did scrambled eggs with spinach, throw it on a bed of rice, you might be working something out with that. 6 eggs, $1.50. So remember when I told you guys that eggs is pretty cheap? If you just did 6 scrambled eggs, that's $1.50. You throw down like 50 cents worth of cheese on there, which is a lot of cheese. You got 6 eggs scrambled with cheese, $2. Like, breakfast can be cheaper. We just don't think about that shit. For some reason, we got to throw down a slab of bacon and a couple pieces of sausage and make our breakfast $10, $15. Ask yourself, when you at the Waffle House, when you're at the Denny's, when you're at the IHOP, spending $25 a plate, why the heck you didn't just go back to your house and scramble some eggs with some spinach, where the 6 eggs is $1.50. The fresh spinach, either frozen, the frozen ones is even cheaper. You either frozen or fresh, like $1, and then salt and pepper or some seasonal, Old Spice, whatever. What was the other one? I can't think of the other one, but it's like thyme, something like that, where you just throw some shit on there, like a little seasoning, and then that whole meal right there, $2.60. Now, you spending $10 on breakfast per person when you could have got the same breakfast 5 times for $2.60 a plate. and it's chock full of protein. For those of you that are on the health kick, I don't understand why we don't think about this kind of shit. We really could be eating good food. We could be we it's not nasty. It's not like we're talking about like beets or some shit. This is stuff that we normally eat on a daily basis. We just never thought about putting it together like this. We got the ham and cheese croissant. The croissant's $1.50. Sliced ham is $1. Cheese slices, especially cheese, cheddar cheese, that's $1. Whole sandwich, $3.50. You can do 2 of those for $7. 2 ham and cheese sandwich croissants. Now, for $7, you're gonna get 1 sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit from McDonald's, and then you still gotta upgrade in order to get you a drink to go with that bitch. I'm trying to figure out why we ain't thinking about it. And then you can layer the ham and the cheese on the croissant, and you can toast it, melt it, and make it all nice and juicy for you, so that you got you a nice little ham and cheese croissant breakfast, better than the one you get at the drive-thru. You can also, for an extra 25, 30 cents, throw you some grape jelly on top of that shit. And really be saving you some money on your meals. All of the stuff that I'm telling you today are ways that you can get yourself something to eat and save money and still eat healthy. And you're talking about less than $5 per meal. If you're eating $3 meals a day, you're eating $15 a day or less. I know that what was it? John Cena was telling the story, like I mean, John Cena's rich, and because he's getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a show. So, you know, when he thinks, oh, you know, when I first started out, I was living off of $50 a day worth of food. $50 a day worth of food is a lot of money, because I can tell you, I'm telling you right now, I just gave you 3 different meals. Each one of them was under $5 a piece. And I can tell you that all together ain't spent $20 on 3 meals in one day, where you would have ate and been full. So I'm trying to figure out how the fuck he was suffering off of $50 a day worth of groceries. Most people's grocery bill could be under $50 if you're doing it cheap like this. This is probably the reason why some people food stamp card be $2.95, because they figure $10 a day, 30 days out of the month, you should be good to go if you bargain it. Because I just gave you the ham and cheese croissant is $3.50, so you can have 2 of those croissants. That's $7. That's one day. 2 croissants, eat twice a day. You ain't fat, but you ain't starving. They go on to number 5. They had the smoothies. The smoothie ingredients for the smoothies was pretty sweet. You have your frozen fruits, which is $2, and I found you can use like canned fruits in syrup, and those are good too if you're making a smoothie, because then you also have flavor. Throw in some milk. That's $1. The canned fruits, you can get the great value ones from Walmart for like $1.95 or $2.65 with the juice. You throw you some yogurt in there for an extra $1. Now you're at like $3, $3.75. They're talking about 15 cents for the oat, 50 cents for the oats. This particular recipe is $3.50, but if you use the canned fruit in syrup, and the canned fruit is like $2.35, $2.50, something like that, plus the oats, that's $3, plus the yogurt and milk, that's $1. You're looking at $4. So it's still under $5, even if you upgraded and got you some juicier fruits. You got the budget porridge. Bless it. Why they call it budget porridge? Rolled oats. They got the rolled oats again in the water and milk. They're going to top it with either sugar or cinnamon, as well as throw the fruits in there for $2. That's why it's budget porridge, because you're going to cook the oats. This is different than the other recipe, because the other recipe was going to have the porridge just sit there overnight at room temperature. This recipe is talking about cooking the oats in the water and the milk, and then adding your favorite toppings to it as a flavor. So when you cook the oats up, it's going to be just like making cream of wheat or oatmeal with the cinnamon and stuff. And you're going to cook it down, throw you some cinnamon in there. Instead of throwing the sugar in there, throw some brown sugar. That might be an extra 15 cents. But you throw that in there, and now you got you a meal. This is $3.50 for something to eat. That's a 6th item I done found where you can get you something to eat. Now we're on the and that's just breakfast, y'all. That's just breakfast. So I'm sitting here thinking, why have we not figured out ways for us to save us some money? Because if we can save us some money, we can have our money make money for us. And then while we're making money make money for us, we can invest more money into more places where our money is making enough money, where we are not suffering money. Check this out. Lunch and dinner meals. Casserole. I know y'all know about that casserole. Broccoli chicken casserole. They got one dish meal with chicken, rice, and vegetables topped with cheese and crackers. You want to add your favorite flavors, right? Then you got cheeseburger pie. They tripping. Cheeseburger pie. Ground beef mixed with onions and cheeseburger on a crust. And that's perfect for filling a dinner. If you buy a pound of ground beef, now that's not under $5 right there. That meal right there, the chicken casserole, that's not under $5 neither. The chicken casserole and the cheeseburger pie, that's going to be like $10, $15 meal, because the ground beef is going to be $8 plus cheese. And then you throw you some onions in there. But that's a pretty good dinner. I would order some shit like that. Like, not order it to be made. I would order it through like Uber Eats or Instacart or something like that, and have them deliver me like a 5-pound thing of ground beef, 2 onions, a bag of cheese, some bell peppers. Y'all listen to me now. This is a $20 meal though. And if you get you some pie crust, get you some pie crust, and you put that shit in there, and then you bake it now, and you're gonna have you a nice little $20 that what they call them, not the shepherd's pie. I can't think of it right now. It's y'all know what I'm talking about. Off the top of my head, I can't even think of the name of the pie, but it's a chock full of ground beef. That's what it is. Yeah. Woo. Now remember, I was on one of them shows. I was telling y'all about the Pringle soup, and this one of the fans came up onto the show, and they was talking. She said, "You know, are you for real, Pringle soup?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm for real, Pringle soup." Like, y'all be sitting over here talking about some y'all want steak dinner, and y'all could be marinating your Pringles in some water and making y'all some Pringle soup, and y'all be doing all right instead of having me taking you out there for some steak dinner. Y'all need to be trying to figure out a way to save us some money so that we have more money to invest, so that we got more money to make for y'all, because y'all doing this stupid shit. This make no damn sense. Make no damn sense. I'm trying to mix it up. So they got soups here. This is the spinach rice soup. Spinach rice soup is self-explanatory. You're gonna have you some soup made with frozen vegetables. Get you some black beans and some rice for under $4. Sausage, potatoes, and cabbage soup. It's self-explanatory. You're gonna be using some simple ingredients, bring it together to make you a filling meal for. And this is something that can go for multiple people. But you could also go get you the cans of Progresso soup. And the can, I'm about to tell you, I'm gonna skip down a list for the cans of Progresso soup. Cause no, I'm gonna get back to that. Because that shit it's raw. Like, you can get it, you can mix it together, and shit's real cheap. It is real cheap. You can eat 4 times a day and still be under $10. You'd be full. You'd be over full. Probably start gaining some weight. And these are some of the weirdest things. Like, I never thought about making some of these meals. You can make it for multiple people in your house. At $4 a plate, $4 a serving, you're looking at 2 people under $10 a day, or under $10 a meal for 2 people. So these females sitting over here talking about something, they want steak dinner, but I'm sitting over here giving you guys some at-home recipes right now where you could cook for somebody and give them some shit. Y'all got some basic meals. You know, if you take a female first date, second date, and you give her a pasta dish that's creamy tomato bacon pasta, she gonna walk out, bro. She ain't even gonna fuck with you talking about it's a $6 plate of food. She does not want to see. She want the garnish to be $6, bro. She don't want the whole plate to be $6. She want. But this is an affordable thing like pasta. You can get pasta for 75 cents. Then you get you some tomatoes. You can dice them up yourself. Get you some bacon. You can take 2-3 strips of bacon per person. Cut that shit up too. Mix it all together into a delicious meal. And then you can use pasta carbonara, which is a step above, because you can take that same dish, mix it together with some low-cost sauces. And if you really want to get fancy, now you're making it a $20 meal. You can take you some carbonara, which is alcohol for y'all grown folks. pour that shit into your pasta. Now you got you an Italian pasta. Get yourself drunk. Y'all have y'all a good night, but you're still spending less than $20 because the first half of this deal is $6. The pasta carbonara with the carbonara sauce is going to be an extra $4 for the sauce. So you spend $10 for the meal for 2 people. So you're still looking at $5 a plate, but you can mix this up, slap you some alcohol in it. You spend $15 a person, including the alcohol that you bought, because you know you're going to buy you some Cabernet from either Walmart or BJ's, or you can go get it on a discount. You can get it on a low from some of these other Whole Food stores or the liquor store, for those of y'all to shop at the liquor store, and get you some alcohol on the low and save you a ton of money. So these are some really swift ways, and we've gone through 3 lunch items and 6 breakfast ways that you guys can be eating good and saving y'all some money. So I'm trying to figure out why the fuck is we wasting so much money, $700-800 a month per person on food, when we could really be eating good. So when y'all go out to dinner, y'all hanging out with your homies, or if you take that female out to that one dinner and you're looking at $260 a plate, and I'm about to tell you about some ramen noodle stir fry. You're looking at an inexpensive ramen noodle stir fry where you got some vegetables, some ramen noodles. You can throw the chicken in there for a chicken stir fry, and quick, make that up quick, because you can saute that with the vegetables, the chicken with the sauteed onions with some light vegetable oil. Use the virgin olive oil. Stir fry that shit on up. And guess who makes that food? Bennigan's. So Chili's, for those of y'all on the East Coast, these are some restaurants that do the same shit. The only difference is you throw you some ramen noodles in there, you good to go. You don't want to use the ramen noodles because the ramen noodles got flavor packets like the creamy mushroom chicken, the beef, the chicken, the shrimp flavored ones, where you can make your food taste like something different every time. Or you could just use some angel hair pasta, some fettuccine pasta. Do your nice little stir fry. You're still under $20, and you can split this between 2 people, so you're still under $10 a person when you're splitting this stuff up. Y'all want taco night? Here's the 5th item: taco enchiladas. Tacos and enchiladas. You get you some beef enchiladas with ground beef wrapped in the tortillas with the enchilada sauce and cheese, and that's gonna get you a really good dinner right there. That's like $15, but you're spreading that across 2-3 people, so you're looking at probably $3 to $5 a person off of that. Taco salads, where you can either have the tacos and then make the taco prep, or you can just make the taco salad where you're crunching up the taco shells and putting them into the taco salad, and you can mix all that stuff up with ground beef, beans, and top it with lettuce, cheese, salsa, especially salsa. Salsa's like $8, but if you throw $8 worth of salsa into $7 worth of ground beef, you're right at $20-25 for 3 or 4 people, because you're not going to eat a gigantic bowl of taco mix by yourself. I mean, unless you that guy. But if you that guy, you ain't eating with a bunch of people. You eating by yourself. Get off my cornbread. That's the kind of shit you doing. If you got this much food for one person. If you're cooking in the groups, batch cooking is what they call that. When you're preparing large quantities of meals like soups or casseroles that can be stored for later use, or if you're the kind of person where you're doing it for yourself because you live alone, but you're prepping on your day off all the food that you're going to eat for the rest of the week, you can do this and save you a ton of money. You don't have to buy food at work, especially if you work at a restaurant. You can bring your own food. Then you don't have to be accused of the food costs going up, because people who work at fast food restaurants eat on a job. Some jobs have meal plans, some jobs don't. Some jobs, when the food cost is low, they allow you guys to eat for free. And sometimes when the food cost is high, they start threatening to fire you for eating food that would otherwise be thrown in the trash. So, if you bring your own food to work, you're never caught up in that bullshit. And it helps you stay healthier. You're not starving when you're working on a job that doesn't have food, and you're able to perform better on your job. Or we're supposed to be getting a call in here, so coming soon. We haven't gotten it yet. But when you are, it's supposed to be 45 minutes from now. But I'm looking at the wrong time, y'all. It started an hour late. So yeah, you'll be able to function better in your workplace if you're not starving. You're able to put that 4 to 6 hours in, take that lunch break, go sit down and eat somewhere, and don't even let them fuck with you until you finish eating your food. And then when you come back, then you're able to pay more attention to your job. But you're eating light because you don't have this big old mountain of lasagna like Garfield, where the starch is going to break down the glucose. You're going to get drowsy from your body focusing on digesting the food, to having that sugar crash, that sugar coma from having a large quantity of glucose being released into your diet because you process so much starch. So you also have to take that into consideration. You don't want to eat too heavy in the middle of the day while you're at work, because you don't want to be drowsy after you eat. So food prep, always good. And if you're using frozen vegetables, they're even cheaper than the fresh vegetables, and they're going to last longer than the fresh vegetables. Canned foods also. And then if you're going to plan meals around sales, you can catch stuff that's on sale, like the Progresso soup for the month of September was offering $1 off every time you buy 3 cans. And while the can was like $1.99 a can for 1 can, if you take $1 off of 3 cans, you got 6 times 3. Well, two times 3 would have been $6 worth of stuff. Take $1 off is $5 for 3 cans. Woo! Just saying. So you're able to check your local grocery store to see what kind of discounts that you can get, where you're not buying the clearance food items. You're just catching some discounts and some sales because you're doing food prep for the week. So when you're incorporating beans and lentils into your diet, this is an inexpensive way to get you some protein in your diet. This will help those of you that are trying to bulk up and build your physical fitness without having to spend a shit ton of money on buying a bunch of fatty foods to get your protein up. You don't have to buy pounds and pounds of chicken and fish. You can literally just go and grab yourself some lentils or some beans and throw into your diet and boost up your inner hungry man meal, and really be able to stay fit, stay full, and actually be able to do it on a budget. You'll be able to do it under what I'm showing you. You'll be able to do it under $5 a meal. And if you're doing it under $5 a meal and you're eating 3 times a day, even if you're eating 4 times a day, you're still doing it under $20. But if you're eating 3 times a day, you're doing it under $15, which highly encouraged. So one of the things I thought, this, truth be told, I cook for my dogs. $5 will feed both of my dogs. So you think about the can of dog food that's like $2.25 a can, and you got a dog that eats a lot of food. You might have to give them 2 or 3 cans. It's $5 to feed the dogs. I actually could cook them a healthy meal, and my dogs would be eating just as good as me and be just as cheap as me. I ain't got to worry about spending $15 to feed one of my dogs one time out of the month. You got to do that 30 times. It's $150. I know some folks that's like, man, I feed my dog. I bought them a $40 bag of dog food, and that lasts them all month. But you got other people that be buying that same $40 bag of dog food 3 times a month trying to feed 2 dogs. So if you can feed 2 dogs off of $15 for the whole month, look, now I'm trying to tell y'all can save money. Y'all can save money. And all the money that y'all not spending on groceries, the same way all the money y'all not spending on impressing these females that ain't really worth your time, you could be spending that money on investing in stocks, bonds, mutualities, Bitcoin. I got a show about that. I'm gonna be telling y'all about this Bitcoin in a minute, because that shit just dropped from 73,000 back down. It dropped $9,600. That Bitcoin dropped. So if y'all was investing when the market was high, that was a wrong move. Because what did I tell y'all? Right before Halloween, that shit takes a dip. Right before Thanksgiving, that shit takes another dip. Right before Christmas, that shit takes another dip. And then it's gonna go right back up and kind of peak right around November. And then you're going to start seeing a massive decline between January and probably March or April. Just got to watch the market. Watch the market. You'll see it. You'll see it. It fluctuates similarly. It kind of gravitates the same way the Earth gravitates on its axis. So it's not always 100%. Sometimes it's down in March and April. Sometimes it's down in April and May. But it's always down between March and May. The lowest time is usually in April. It's going to fluctuate a little bit, but that's the lowest time. And if you're looking at that stock, that Bitcoin stock, you see between March and May, that's the lowest season. Get in while it's low, and then watch it rise until October. Pull all your money out. So if you're doing trade bots, that's the best way to do your trade bots. Have your trade bots set up to work from October or like March or April or May, whenever you buy in, and have it work until October. Sell out. Sell out in October. And right when you sell out, you close out all your stocks. Just let it sit. Because if you don't cash out, you're good. Just let it sit. And then when the market goes back down, you want to use some same trade bots, put all your shit back up there and run it again. And you could tripling your money every year. You're good to go. You don't have to make money every day of the week. You just have to make out of the whole year 2 times or 3 times more than what you started with, and you're good to go. So back on these diets, I got even more for y'all. Y'all thought it was over. Yeah, how many? I got 19 pages of this shit. I can't believe I'm on page 8 of 19 pages. I found a whole bunch of shit. Spinach rice soup. Now this is spinach and rice instead of spinach and eggs. So spinach and rice soup, where you got frozen onions and peppers, that's $1.38. Black beans is 78 cents. Canned corn is 50 cents. Corn, spinach, rice. That's the corn, spinach, and rice bag, $1.26. So you're looking at $3.92. And this is a soup now. So you're gonna have that marinated. You can use like chicken stock, or you can use water and get you a nice little broth, hook it up, throw you some vegetables in there. You eating good, just like you see those Korean movies where they're always eating some kind of soup. This is what I'm talking about. $3.92 for one of them fucking soups. Ramen noodles stir fry. And I told y'all that these ramen noodles be going ham. I told y'all. Y'all be sitting over here bullshitting. Y'all be over here talking about something. I'm going to TGI Fridays, getting me some motherfucking wings. Y'all can be sitting over here saving y'all some money and use TGI Fridays for a special holiday. But y'all got ramen noodle stir fries. Ramen noodle stir fry. The stir fry itself with the vegetables, $2.48 for the stir fry. The ramen noodle gets you 3 packs of ramen noodles. So you already know that you're going to eat 3 times, because one packet of ramen noodles can feed one person. And if you add stuff to it, vegetables and shit like that, one person can eat that. So 3 packets of ramen noodles, you can split that between 2 or 3 people. But 3 packets of ramen noodles is $1.08, because ramen noodles are 30 cents a piece, 32 cents a piece if you get the 12 pack. So if you buy the individuals, you save you some money. Save money on that piece of cardboard that you're paying for. But you get ramen noodles, 3 packs of ramen noodles, $1.08. The stir fry, $2.48. You're paying a total of $3.58. And you're using the traditional ramen packed with vegetables and extra nutrients. And you can also use that one with a chicken broth. You can use that one with a beef broth if you want to use a beef broth in order to give it more flavor. I told y'all earlier this year that if you have sodium added to your diet, then you can have the sodium put, because you don't want to have too much salt in your diet, because that'll lead to high blood pressure. But if you're dealing with dehydration, you're finding yourself extra fatigued, if you incorporate this into your diet, you can find yourself having more energy, being more hydrated. You don't have to deal with the dry mouth, chapped lips. You don't have to deal with always going after so much liquid and not being hydrated. Or you can spend $2.78 a bottle, get you guys some goddamn Gatorade electrolytes, which is just a bottle of Gatorade with salt in it, because potassium is sodium and sodium is salt, and salt is what you need to store and transport more hydrogen, or H2O, more water, throughout your body, so that your body can stay hydrated. But I thought that was funny. Now, the ramen noodle soup was the other one that I was talking to you guys about, because that's the one where you take the Progresso soup. It's like $1.48 with the discount, $1.98 without the discount. And you can use different Progresso soups. Get you a pack of ramen noodles. It's 30 cents for a pack of ramen noodles. And you can use a different type of ramen noodle each time, which means that you can do this ramen noodle soup like 40 different ways and have 40 different meals. Never get tired of the shit. Always be full. $2.78. You're looking at a $3 meal. Can of Progresso, packet of ramen noodles, $3 meal every time. Never hungry, always full. And you saving money. You can do that 3 times a day, $9. Look, now you don't even need a food stamp card for this shit, because it's $9 with taxes. What's that's going to be? $9.10. You ain't spending a lot of money on that. So you're still under $10, even if you was buying this shit with cash. And that's 3 meals a day. They got the chicken and rice casserole with broccoli. I was talking about something similar to this. But if you use the cream of mushroom soup that you get for Progresso, you have a shit ton more. But if you use the actual cream of mushroom soup, that's 68 cents. the cream of chicken soup, that's 68 cents. But if you use a can of Progresso cream and mushroom soup, that's going to be $1.98. You use a can of cream and chicken soup, that's another $1.98. Or if you use the clam chowder one instead of the cream of mushroom, you can do that too. Then get you some chicken. If you get you a can of chicken, that's $1.26. Throw you some wild rice in there. And if you get the great value bag of rice, you can get a 20-pound bag of rice for $11.25. You don't have to use that whole. You can just use a scoop and throw in there 2 scoops for you and your homie. Get your little rice cooker. That way you don't fuck up the rice. And set that up with some frozen broccoli for another 92 cents. You're spending $4.82. But if you do it the way I was doing it, you're spending like $7 for the same meal. Got enough for 2 people, 2 or 3 people. You divide that up, you're still under $4 a person. But you're able to feed yourself, your girlfriend, and your kid with that $10, and everybody full. And this is a comforting casserole that combines proteins and vegetables in one dish, where you getting balanced diets almost. You're getting real meals almost, where you're able to sit there and eat on a budget. And people don't understand that you don't got to be rich to eat on a budget. You can eat and be comfortable if you're not being greedy. So females talk about they don't want to go to Cheesecake Factory. Sweetheart, that's way worse than Cheesecake Factory, because if we go to Cheesecake Factory, at least somebody cooking for you. You could be at the house eating this. So the Cheesecake Factory is a step up above. But you don't want to go to Cheesecake Factory, that's fine. We got some creamy tomato bacon pasta. We could do that instead of and what I'd have to do, I'd have to get the Ballin' on the Budget cookbook, put that shit together, throw some pictures up there. And then when the female be like, what you want to eat? What you think about the creamy tomato bacon pasta? Because you're talking about pasta for less than $1. Diced tomatoes, you get you a tomato, dice it up. Get you some Alfredo sauce for $1.79. And you don't even need the Alfredo sauce. You can use the Cabanero sauce that I was talking about earlier from Bertolli. That's like $1.98. Have the shit taste like vodka. Get you some bacon bits for $1.70. Or you could cut up your own bacon, throw it in there instead. $5.30. Slightly over budget, but you know what? It's good. It's good. Because if you was to throw up an extra thing of pasta and one more can of sauce alongside those bacon bits, you might be right along the lines of a $10 meal. You're still going to divide it between 2 people, and you got a rich, creamy pasta dish that y'all can sit at the house and enjoy. So you don't have to be sitting over here struggling to impress your partner with a expensive ass steak dinner. You can really be impressing your partner by finding ways to cook some shit that she will eat that is not over $10 for the 2 of y'all. Now, I'm not talking about $10 a person. I'm talking about $10 for the whole damn meal. You can have the whole setup and probably have some leftover. Yo, we got a few more. I'm on page 11 of 19. We got a few more. I'm telling y'all want to sit over here and figure out how the hell we waste so much money on not taking care of business when we supposed to be making sure that we eating. Look, this that bullshit. Black bean enchilada casserole. Anthony, what you know about the black bean enchilada casserole, bro? Look, they twirling in the comment section right now. Pinto beans, black beans, canned corn, enchilada sauce, corn tortillas. And look, you can, for a few extra dollars, for a couple extra dollars, you can take you some chicken, grill it up, throw it into that, and you got you some black bean enchilada chicken casseroles. You got you some tortillas. You can make you some burritos. What Donald Trump said, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. You could get out there and catch you some cats and shred them up. Look, I'm telling you, Flores, what do you know about these black bean enchilada casseroles? I'm trying to told you. And it's only like $6. It's $5.58 to make some of this stuff. So if you spent $2 extra on some chicken, you still under $8 with being able to make a meal that you actually could divide between 2 to 3 people. A single mother, some kids. You know, you got a husband that's hungry, but he ain't trying to, stress over no big meal. This is the kind of stuff that we could be really doing to save some money and still be able to eat good. Look at it. Easy, cheese, manachati. I can't even tell you how. This is supposed to be a specific type of pasta that you're going to get for $1.68, which is almost like fettuccine. Then you're going to get you some pasta sauce for $1.18, some ricotta cheese for $2.48, and some mozzarella cheese on top of that. So you're making it extra cheesy for $1. Now, you know you can get that $3.25 bag of mixed blend cheese. Get the same experience. $6.34. And you got you a cheesy pasta dish. $6.34 a plate now. I'm talking about like y'all trying to sit over here and waste money going to Chili's. Y'all trying to waste money going to a wing house. I'm trying to tell y'all how y'all can make some money, save some money, get you some grub. And when y'all know those folks that be out there trying to feed the homeless people, they don't even think about this shit. They be really giving them like legit, like boss style, like big man meals. And you like, bro, you could say, I appreciate you, Cassie. You could really be saving some money. You can put this shit together and in spades, and then portion it out into individual like soup cups, put a little lid on it, walk around and give it to the homeless people. Probably spend $20, feed like 15, 20 different homeless people. And they'll love that shit because it's something hot and they're not going to be hungry when it's done. Like that shit makes no sense why we struggle in America. We're demanding inflation. We're going to be doing a show tomorrow talking about how they're protesting the distribution side of the country is protesting, and they're demanding more money during a time when we're about to start replacing human transport workers with machines. I'm telling you, Carol, look, they out here, they doing it at the wrong time, but that's what they're doing. So check this out. When we start talking about eating on a budget, I know Carol know how to make some of this stuff. The spinach rice soup. I told y'all about the frozen onions and peppers and black beans with the corn. I'm telling you that's $3.92. Easy tamal pie. You got tamales. I'm sorry, y'all. Tamales. Easy tamale pie. So hot tamales. You got pre-made tamales, $2.50. Canned chili. This is the first time I found something I can use canned chili with, because I typically, when I get my hands on some canned chili, I just throw some cheese on it, throw some diced onions in there, put me some minced garlic, and just eat the canned chili by itself, or throw some hot dogs in that bit. But tamales, canned chili, cheese, $5, and you can turn that into a casserole. What? Pasta figurati. Now we're getting fancy. Using 98 cents for some pasta. Canned beans. You can use canola beans or kidney beans for 78 cents. Diced tomatoes for 88 cents. You're still spending $2.68 on some pasta. So I just gave y'all like 7 different kinds of pasta for lunch and dinner that y'all could have been setting up, where y'all will be eating real good food. You'd be loving where you at. You'd be enjoying yourself. And you wouldn't even be spending a bunch of money. Each one of these is less than $5. The fact that you could, for the pasta figurati, for $2.64 a person, you're looking at 2 people eating for $5 for less than $5. You're looking at, for less than $10, you're looking at 2 people eating twice. So you're not hungry. You're still spending under $10 a meal. You go back and get you some seconds. Cheeseburger cups. Y'all know y'all be going out there for some sliders at Steak and Shake. And for $5, you can get you some cheeseburger cups, which is cheaper than the sliders that you get from Burger King. It's cheaper than the White Castle sliders that you get from the grocery store when you're going to buy those sliders. But you got biscuits. You got the little dough ball biscuit balls. It's $1.50. You get you some ground beef. You get half a pound of ground beef for $2. Cheese, $1.50. That's a total of $5. And you got the biscuit cups are going to fill you with seasoned ground beef and melted cheese and baked until golden brown. Now, you can take that. Come on, Carol, tell me what you know about this, because you could take these cheese cups and you could throw you some diced onions on there. You could take the cheese cups and you could put some little baby tomato slices on there and make you like a little what they call them things. Not the sliders, Big Mac. Because it's gonna be the same size as a Big Mac with shrinkflation, and you good to go. You good to go. You be sitting over here eating this stuff, and you be like, man, this is some good shit. I'm telling you, I'm probably gonna have to do me a sideshow where I done made some of these and took pictures of it, show you what it looked like on a live podcast, so that y'all could be like, yo, that he really did make that shit, and that shit really did cost $5. $5. So vegetable fried rice. We almost done. I done come across. I'm on page, I think 15 out of 19. So we got 5 pages of food left. But vegetable fried rice. You got the cooked fried rice, flavored leftovers. We still waiting on T-Mobile to give us a call. They're supposed to call us during the show. So hold on, listen to the background music. What they tripping? I don't know what they doing. All right. So cooked fried rice, you could use either leftover cooked rice or instant rice, 50 cents. So you could use rice for a meal and then take the rice left over, and then you could use it for this, or you could get you some of that Uncle Ben's Menace rice that's not called Uncle Ben's rice anymore. It's just called rice. Like, it's in the orangish yellow. They call it minute rice now. Fuck out of here. That's Uncle Ben's. That's that. They tripping. Either way, the frozen mixed vegetables, you got that on there. Soy sauce, for those of y'all that's not allergic to soy sauce, you throw some soy sauce on there or some teriyaki sauce on there, 25 cents. Eggs is optional, 20 cents if you want to use eggs in there. The more eggs you want to do, the better. But $1.95 without eggs, $2.15 with eggs. Easy meal now. Easy meal. And you could double down on that, $5 for a vegetable fried rice meal. And that could be used as breakfast or dinner. That could be a late night snack. It's all under $5. And you can put something like that together and tackle being hungry in the middle of the night, hangover, stoned, whip some of this stuff up, not spending more than $5. What's it? Creamy tomato bacon pasta. You got pasta, diced tomatoes, Alfredo sauce, and bacon bits. And I told you before, you can use whole bacon on that one. We got the crescent roll, sausage, egg casseroles. So you're using crescent rolls instead of the biscuits. Use a half a pack of sausage. So, you know, the sausage usually comes with like 8. You can use 4 of them. And then get you 6 eggs. Piece that together. You can throw some cheese on top of that as well. You're looking at $5.80. It's a little bit over the $5 budget, but you're still making it work. You're still doing it under $10, so you're still eating good. And then you got the what they did there. Hold on now. They tripping on the back end. I got people contacting me on different platforms, and you know I got to bounce back and forth from platform to platform to make sure that everybody's still watching. See, as soon as I did that, it just said, "Show me that you still here." But I've been here the whole time telling you the recipes and the stories and the scoop and the skinnies. But yeah, like I said, that's almost $6, so that's like about a $12 meal. But the fact is that it's still a good way to hook some stuff up. You got the easy red bean and rice, and I know some of y'all be thinking red beans and rice. You're not gonna get red beans and rice for $5.99. That's the only one that is misspoken, and the reason why is because I be goddamn if anybody with common sense is gonna sit there and make just enough red beans and rice for one motherfucker. You're gonna grab 2 packs of kielbasa sausage. So kielbasa sausage is $3.49. You're going to grab 2 boxes of the Zatarain's red beans and rice. For those of you that don't know how to make red beans and rice, that's going to be $2.50 a box. So you looking at right about $20 right now. So instead of this being $5.99, it's going to be about $25. But you're going to make about 10 plates out of that shit. So it's still going to be under $5 a plate, but this particular type of meal, red beans and rice, is not going to be a $5.98 meal for the whole meal. That's not possible. Nobody with a crock pot is gonna make $6 worth of red beans and rice. That's something that we're not gonna do. I'm just gonna be real with you. And then you already know, for those of y'all that's in the South, y'all gonna throw, if y'all gonna do real kidney beans instead of doing that bullshit ass red beans and rice, you're gonna do the kidney beans and brew that overnight, and then you're gonna get the rice on the side. So you're gonna give you a big ass pot of rice on the side, and then you're gonna throw the kielbasa sausage in there. You're gonna need 2 packs of kielbasa sausage because you want the spicy stuff in there, the Baileys, the thymes, the paprika that you gotta throw in there. This, like I told you, this is gonna be like a $25-$30 meal, but you might get 10, 15, 20 plates out of that one pot. So you still under $5 a plate, under $10 a meal, because you're not going to eat more than 2 plates, most people. Ground beef tacos. We almost at the bottom of the list. Ground beef tacos. For those of you, I told y'all about the taco salad, but you can just do taco night in and of itself. You've got the ground beef for $4, a roundabout. You've got the taco seasoning packets is 50 cents. You got the tortillas, it's $1.50. If you do like most people do in the hood, and you go to the different fast food places, when you go to the fast food places, grab you a handful of packets on your way out the door. You got a bunch of stuff. You got one drawer in your kitchen that is nothing but sauce packets, ketchups, mustards, mayonnaise, grape jellies, hot fire and mild sauce. Sometimes if you got the hot sauce from Popeyes, the honey sauce packets, you just got a drawer full of sauce packets. So when you decide to make tacos at the house, most of the ingredients you already got. You just got to go and get you 10 count of tortillas, some ground beef, and then get you some taco seasoning, and you good to go. Maybe some cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, cut it up, make you a taco supreme, and you're looking at approximately $6 for about 10 tacos. But if you're going to do it at home, why stop at 10 tacos? Why not do like 40? That way each person can get 4 tacos, 10 people. 10 people getting 4 tacos a piece is 40 tacos. Because you know you're not just going to eat 2. Most of us eat at least 3. We get full off the 4th one, or at least we just get tired of chewing it because of the tacos. If you're doing hard tacos, the tacos start cutting up your gums and shit. But if you're doing soft tacos, you might eat 4 of them, 3 or 4 of them. So whoever's full off of their first 2 allows the greedy ones to get 6. But 40 tacos, I'm telling you, 40 tacos, 10 people, 4 tacos a person. You feeding the whole family. 8 tacos a person for a family of 5. You feeding the whole family. Taco night. But at $6 for 10 tacos, if you're doing 40, you're still doing $24 for 10 people, or $24 for 5 people, and everybody's full, and you got leftovers where you can do tacos in the middle of the night. You can do tacos for breakfast. You can take tacos with you to school in the morning. I'm trying to tell you. Now, the last thing that we got on the list here looks like we got the stuffed bell peppers. Now, y'all know about the stuffed bell peppers. Y'all can go and buy the stuffed bell pepper at the grocery store for like $3.50. But it's 1 fucking bell pepper or 2 baby bell peppers. You can get you a bell pepper for $2. You get 4 bell peppers, matter of fact, for $2. You cut them fuckers in half, and then you put the ground beef in them. So the stuffed bell pepper pack that you buy for $3.50 at the frozen TV dinner, you can go and buy you 4 actual bell peppers, cut them in half, follow this recipe, and end up with 8 of those for $6.50, using the $4 of ground beef and then 50 cents of rice. And then if you're going to throw some sauce on there, it'll be a little bit over 50 cents because you might spend another $1 some change on the Progresso tomato sauce, or the Bertolli tomato sauce that you're going to put in there for your stuffed bell peppers. But the mixture of the ground beef, rice, sauce, and the seasonings, and if you do like me, you're going to cook it with a little bit of liquor in there. Telling you, magnifique, you're going to be full. And the fact is that you're still under $10. You're still under $10 a plate. You're under $10 for the whole set because you're doing 4 whole bell peppers cut in half, which makes 8 servings. So, or well, if you're doing it per half a bell pepper, it's 8 servings. But if you do 1 whole bell pepper per serving, you've got 4 full servings instead of the packet giving you 1 bell pepper per meal. So you're still doing, like I said before, $10 for 2 people. Everybody's full. and you're eating healthy. So I sat here for over an hour having a pretty significant discussion on all of the many ways that you could be sitting over here eating really delicious foods, having a good time eating really delicious foods, and not having to worry about going over $10 and potentially feeding a second or third or fifth person, where you guys would be able to eat good on a budget, be able to save you guys some money, and be able to make money for you. Because with all the money that you're not spending on food, if you're talking about $10 a day, you're looking at $300 a month for 30 days that you're spending on groceries. Instead of spending $300 a month per person on groceries, you're talking about $300 a month for the family. And you got a family of 2, family of 5. You saving you some money now. And you still eating quality food. You don't have to go and get leftover nothing from the food bank. You don't have to go and buy the food that's on clearance, that's the 1 day away from spoiling. You don't have to buy the stuff that's already expired. Like the expiration date was yesterday, so they reduced the price today. You're going to buy it tomorrow, kind of stuff. You don't got to do none of that stuff. You can go and buy it fresh off the shelf. As soon as they put it on the shelf, you can take it off the shelf, go buy it, piece it together, have you a decent meal. You'll be full, your family will be full, everybody will be happy. And I got to tell you, this is the most effective way to save you guys some money, live modestly, and really enjoy life with your family. And you can turn this into a project where you guys are cooking together, you guys are eating together, eating hearty together, where you guys are able to enjoy how you you guys are eating hearty together, where you guys are able to enjoy how you guys eat, making the food with one another. And I feel like this will be a good way for you guys to definitely, I done lost connection quite a few times. You guys will be able to definitely find a way to bond and make better connections with the way that you're, making food at the house. Because like the taco thing, you can have one person do the prep, one person cook the meat, one person heat up the tacos, one person do the salad prep, just like you do at the restaurants, where each person has their own little job, and y'all can all be in the kitchen together, chopping this stuff up, working together, trying to put this stuff together, and y'all will be doing just fine. Y'all be doing fantastic. And cooking together as a family brings y'all closer together. Cooking together in a relationship brings y'all closer together. So instead of just saying, fuck it, it's whatever, let's order takeout, you would be able to instead get in there and set you up a good meal plan where everybody would be able to work together and enjoy dinner, or enjoy breakfast, or enjoy lunch, and y'all will be happy. Y'all will be way happier. So I strongly recommend it. That's all I have for you guys for today's show. I see that the internet is still fluctuating, because I'm looking at some of y'all popping back in after being kicked out. I understand how things are. They're still trying to fix it. One day we're gonna get this shit right. T-Mobile's got to get their shit together, because they're supposed to be the best internet service in the country, and they are struggling right now. But this is the advancements of technology, because 5G network is the new thing, and it hasn't gone across the world yet. Once we start having 5G towers everywhere, then we're going to start having better 5G networks everywhere. But until we get it all over the place, we still got to be dealing with it is what it is until they make it better. So I appreciate you guys for coming to the show. It was a tough day today. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Make sure y'all join the membership. We are typically live 7 nights a week. We try to get here at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 5 Pacific. We started a lot late today because of the internet problem, but we're still trying to get that together. But typically expect us to go live at least once a day, every day. So even if we come a little bit late, just make sure that you hang around and jump in as soon as you find out that we're live. It typically sends you a notification if you followed us on a YouTube platform. So if you see that subscribe button from TikTok, you click that button right there. It'll take you on over to YouTube. You can follow, and then it'll give you a notification that we went live and that we're going live soon. For the rest of you guys on Twitch and Twitter, you guys know we're always here. So make sure that you jump in. YouTube, y'all are ready for those notifications. So y'all are going to get notified every time we go live. So just keep an eye out for that. Those of you that are following us on TikTok, we're trying to get to 100,000. We need 10,000 for our stream key, 1,000 to get monetized. So if you guys come to the podcast, you hit us with that like button, Brad, where you been, bro? I just spent all afternoon, not all afternoon, I'm lying. It was about an hour and 10 minutes going over what was it? I think I went over like 30 or 40 different ways that you could save money while eating on the low, man. I definitely, and almost every meal was under $5. All of them were definitely under $10. And it was a list of I was going over like enchiladas and tacos and bean dips and pastas, and there was like 5 different pastas that I was talking about over the past hour that you could just piece together. You could have taco night, you could ramen noodles and progresso soup specifically. You can mix and match that because there's like 40 different kinds of progresso soup and like 5 or different kinds of the top ramen noodles at 30 cents a pack that you can mix these things together and make meals out of for under $3 and be eating good 3 times a day for less than $10 a person, or feeding a family at $10 a meal where you and your wife or you and your girlfriend or you and your kids is all eating good and you're not spending a bunch of money, where the whole family is surviving off of $300 a month instead of $300 a person per month. I'm telling you. And then the money that you're saving on groceries, you could have been spending that money on investing. And then you can improve your stock options, improve your money market accounts, get you some extra money in there where you would be able to buy and sell, get into real estate. I did a whole show yesterday about you missed it. You got to go back and take a look at it if you got us on YouTube. How to handle the tax liens, get you some contracts, do you some investor contracts with the homeowners where you take care of their tax lien and they pay you with interest. And because you have a contract with them, that is different from the tax lien itself, because a tax lien is a debt that the IRS goes after them for. And if they don't pay over a certain period of time, you can lose out on the money. If you go to the person directly and you do a contract with them where you will pay their debt for them, if they pay you a certain quantity of money plus interest, plus late fees on the monthly payments, plus fees on the extended fees, all that other stuff, when you're doing all that, that's when the person is and then you give them like a 4 or 5 year contract kind of situation. If the shit goes south with the contract, especially if it's in the clause of the contract where they will be responsible for the cost of court, you could actually take legal action against the person individually and get your money out of them on the back end. But they will be paying you directly for the property taxes, covering the spread. And that contract would put them free and clear with the IRS, where the IRS wouldn't be coming after their house. And you would have some type of percentage thing where you're getting money directly from the person. And I had just recommended, I'm like, hey, throw your contract together, but pay an extra year, include that in the price of the contract, and have them, if they're back 2 years on taxes, pay for 3 years on taxes. It gives them 4 years to pay up on the taxes. Give them a 4-year contract and then split that shit up with interest, where they're paying you like $200 a month on their back taxes for the next 4 years, instead of them paying paying the government all at once, or losing their paying you. And if they get used to paying you, then you could do a revised contract where you're adding the next year on there, where you're just continuously covering their taxes until they can pay you off in full. And you would be getting paid money with interest off of that. And the difference between residual monthly payments of interest on that particular type of situation versus going into tax liens and risking losing your money, or chasing the tax deeds where you're trying to gain possession of the properties. I was talking yesterday about how there's a whole different way that you can go about doing it. But while in real estate, you can make your money make money for you, because you're saying, hey, I'll solve your problem for you for a price. They don't have loan shark agencies that, did I see the airstrikes? No, there were airstrikes. Who got struck? Because I mean, I'm in America, so I'm not getting airstrikes. Who got struck in the air? They were overseas, right? Was it some of Donald Trump's friends, or because you telling me they got in the airstrikes? Oh, I missed a call. That was a call I was supposed to be getting. Exactly. Well, she was on point. Iran shot missiles. Oh, that was a test. That was a test. That was a test. And they shot missiles at us again because I mean Russia shot missiles at Florida once, and our anti-air missiles got shot them down. It was just a test. I mean, you talking about Terminator style, like Skynet? It's happening. So, how do you feel about the United States and missiles being shot? What you think about that? Because I mean, we went to Iraq and Iran and came back with oil, but some 100+ years ago, it was a one-stop shop where they just dropped this big Hiroshima-style atomic bomb and just solved the problem for generations to come. You notice they have not dropped an atom bomb style explosive device ever since then. You notice that? When was that missed call? 10:05, 3 minutes ago. Try to see if I can get them back on the line. Yeah, it's weird. But the funny thing is they are playing with, because they're playing with the politics, everybody's getting bombed. And while everybody's getting bombed, like, they're not fixing problems. I'm trying to get T-Mobile back on the line. They were supposed to be working on the internet, and they didn't. I missed the call. They were supposed to call me during the show. How you doing? I was supposed to be getting a call back. I can't remember her name. She had called. I missed the call. It was about 3 minutes ago. If you could transfer me over to her name is Monique. She just left a voicemail. Okay. Oh yeah, you're a little surprised. It's not that surprising that they are. It's not that surprising that they are throwing missiles at one another. I mean, with all of the assassination attempts that's happening right now, people are going to be launching stuff at one another because that's what we do. We've been at a Cold War for like 40 years. It's something that we just got to deal with. Us as Americans, we don't really have to deal with it because it's not like you got a bunch of people running around with AK-47s taking out American citizens. But you also have to remember that since we have been so desensitized with the expectation of, nah, man, just because they don't talk about it. So the Cold War is it's passive aggressive war. That's what the Cold War is. So the Cold War is like the lead and the products that you're getting from overseas, chemicals in the food, EMP transmissions that's messing up the technology. That's the kind of stuff that you're dealing with the Cold War. You know, you're dealing with like the planes that hit New York. That wasn't Cold War. But I mean, they're going to call that a terrorist attack. The Cold War is not over. It's just not readily talked about because you've got a bunch of unnamed people in dark locations with no civilian communication that is letting it rip. Why do you think America's involved in so many different? Why were we in Egypt? Why are we in Egypt dealing with political squabbles in Egypt? We don't own Egypt. You think that Cold War doesn't exist? Where did the pandemic situation come from if we don't have Cold War? Why are we working on biological warfare items when there's no Cold War? Why are we working on cures for mass disease that is going to actually turn out to be released on the general population if we're not dealing with Cold War? Yes, sir. I'm ready for you. Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. And now they give me this really nifty country hold music. Oh, speaking of hold music, so if you dial 911 at the wrong time, they give you hold music. I do not want to be in the middle of an emergency wishing that, first of all, I don't really want to call the police, but I don't want to be on hold in a situation where I'm wishing that they were coming to rescue me and they put me on hold. You know that your life is over if you call the police and they give you this whole music right here. And like 5 minutes later, 911, how can I help you? Everything's been resolved, man. Whoever was gonna get got, and whoever wasn't gonna get got didn't get got. And the culprit is either finished or has escaped. No, I'll just transfer me over to do the survey. Yes. But I see Red Boy, you popped in here. I know I probably should start the podcast at 9 o'clock these days, but I'll be wanting to get the podcast started at 8 Central, 9 Eastern, because I can do a 1 to 2 hour podcast, wrap it up right about now, and then do some after show edits and take care of some of the back office stuff. But because I have at a midnight contract that I got to get to more often than not. So I don't want to have the podcast run into that. And if I have a 3 hour podcast from 9 to 11 Eastern, I still have that 1 hour to wrap up the show and still be able to get over to the other job. But if I started at 10 instead of 9 Eastern, started at 10 Eastern and run a 3 hour, it'll run right into midnight. And I don't want to do that. Hold on, guys. Yes. I've got 300 people on the call here. Monique was supposed to be talking to me, and I just need you to transfer me to Monique. Doctor, I don't have ways to transfer this specific question, but already managed. Already message Monique on this one, but right now she's not answering yet. Yeah, because when she was leaving a voicemail to let me know that she was trying to contact me, you were already on the line with me. So if you let her know now that you have me on the line so that she can update the support ticket from earlier, because the live call that I'm on right now, when I called you back, it had dropped connection twice during this live call, and I lost out on half the people that were on the call. I'm still on that call because she was aware that this was going to be a 2 hour call, and I'm still on that call. So there are still a lot of people here, and but I'm talking to you guys to let you know that I have lost twice in the last hour connection. So can you contact her again? No, she shouldn't be trying to call me again because you guys are already on the line. How you doing, Keem? I'll talk to you in a second. So you're going to transfer me? Well, yeah, if you transfer me to the technical team, I could tell the technical team to put me on the line with Monique. No, you transfer me over to the technical support department. The technical support department will transfer me over to the person I need to talk to. They don't have Well, if you get me over to the tech support team, then they can get on the account and they can try to update the fact that the internet's not working the way it's supposed to work because it was down for over an hour earlier. I'm in the middle of a live communication with several hundred people, and right now I have to stop that communication to update you because I missed Monique's call because I was in the middle of this call, and I need to make sure that they know that I didn't get the information that I was supposed to get, and it is not functioning the way it's supposed to function. So if you send me over to technical support team so that they can update their records, that would be phenomenal. You can just transfer me over and they can get that over there. Because since you're not helping me at all, you're just transferring the call to a different department. The verification that you're doing on this department would be the same verification they would be doing on the other department. So since you're not releasing any information to me about the account, you don't need to verify me. You only need to transfer me. They need to verify me before they release information on the account. So you could just transfer me to technical support. All right, then. I'll wait for you to transfer me. Unless you would feel more comfortable transferring me to your supervisor so that your supervisor can explain to me why you're refusing to transfer me to technical support. Either way, I'm transferred to somebody. Okay, you are transferring me to a specific department, not a specific person. Right. And I am asking you to transfer me to a different department so that they can do it for you. Because I need to talk to a different department. All right. Well, so let me talk to your supervisor then, because your supervisor would have the access to transfer me. Yeah, you can. Because if I'm complaining about if I have a problem with an employee, I don't even need to be a customer to have a problem with the employee to talk to the supervisor. So yeah, you can transfer me up to the supervisor specifically because I asked for it. Because again, you only need to verify me to use personal account information to relay personal information about the account to somebody that may or may not be the account holder. But if I am trying to talk to a specific department, I do not need to be a customer to ask a specific department a question. I also do not need to be a customer to ask a supervisor, why am I not getting the service that I need to become a customer from the agent that I'm already talking to? So if I'm asking you to transfer me to a different location, you can transfer me and they can verify me before they answer my questions. So all right, I'll wait. How you doing, Keem? I was I'm still trying to get this internet situation going on. It has been a minute. You missed the whole show yesterday. I was trying to give you guys some information about the real estate thing. I was talking to Brad about that when we were talking about investing into the tax liens and the yeah, so yeah, you remember that. So I was doing the whole show yesterday about it. I was talking about the tax liens. I was talking about the tax deeds. I think an hour and 20 minutes. So if you're not on YouTube, you can get that video from YouTube. If you see on the bottom right corner, you see that link there. It'll take you over to YouTube. If you subscribe there, you can get the videos and come back to TikTok because I'll put up some shorts about that show onto TikTok. Just not today because we're still trying to get the internet because our gateway system shut down again for over an hour today, right before the podcast. So I had to get the podcast back up. So I have to hotspot from cell phones to provide internet service to the live stream. So they said, "Oh, well, we'll call you to see if everything's working for you." She's like, "Well, how long is the call going to be?" I said, "Well, I'm going to be there for about 2 hours." She said, "All right, cool. Well, I'm going to call you an hour in just to see what's going on." Like, perfect. I'll be in the middle of it fucking over me when you call. It started messing up. You guys were falling in and out between both YouTube and Twitter and Twitch. Right after that, I checked my phone. I missed her call because I had to ring her off. So I called back. When I called back, I got this guy making excuses, telling me about what he can and cannot do because he's trying to convince me that he needs to verify me in order to transfer me to another department. It's like, no, you don't, bro. You need to transfer me to whoever the fuck I want to talk to and then let that person verify me before they answer any of my questions. So if I'm telling you that I'm calling from a phone that is attached to an account, I'm telling you about an employee that you have in your records that I'm trying to reach, and you're telling that person that you need them to get on the phone with me. You got did Bush do 911? I'm gonna be honest with you, Brad. I think that that they had a lot of stuff going on with that, because that wasn't about terrorism. That was about oil, and that's the reason why Iraq and Iran still exist, because they went over there blowing stuff up to get what they wanted to get. They got it, and then they spent $13 million a week rebuilding after the fact. They did not look. All right, I see the boys. Y'all back. Lucas Schaefer, I see you. I see you in there. Is your buddy with you? So I got one of you guys jumping in from YouTube side. He popped in onto the show. I really appreciate that. You guys, if you're coming in on the YouTube side, you can always click the link, approve the mic, approve the camera, come onto the show. If I confirm that you're over the age of 18, I bring you up onto the show live. Unfortunately, Lucas Schaefer is one of those that are not over the age of 18. So while I see you there, buddy, I could give a shout out for you. I could give a shout out for your homeboy. But I can't have you visually up on the screen because of YouTube community guidelines. We're not supposed to have minors on the live stream. So sorry, buddy. By all means, though, live broadcast, adult conversation. You could be here while we're fussing and cussing and talking about government conspiracies, but I can't bring you up visually. So yeah, we were talking about the trades. We were talking about tax deeds. We were talking about how you could buy properties and hold them, flip them. How you can invest in the taxes, back taxes owed on a property, so that you guys can make money off of those back taxes, which will put you in a position where you would be able to get a property at 10% of the value of the property, and then you could undersell it if you wanted to, wholesale it to somebody, make you more money than what you spent on acquiring the property. You don't even have to waste your time fixing the property. But if you wanted to keep that property, you could get the title off of it from a tax deed, hold on to it, and then build it up, rent it out, and the profits from that property would offset the cost of getting that property, which would turn into a tax blanket for you, because the amount of debt that went into that property versus the amount of money you made off of that property, it's going to prevent you from having to pay taxes on that property for like 20, 30, 40 years. Because if you got it for 10 grand, put 50 grand into it, and you've got this house that's valued at $250,000, and your tenant is now paying you like $2,000 a month on that, they got to pay you 50 grand on that property before you break even on that property. See what I'm saying? So that first year that you got the property, first 10 years you got the property, because you're making 24,000 a year. That first 2 years, you would be making a little under 50 grand that first 2 years before you take a mortgage out on a property. Take a mortgage out on it. You can get a mortgage based off of the earned income from the property, which you can utilize to pay on the mortgage of the property. So they're not even going to give you shit about the property, because the property's collateralized and the property pays for itself. So it'll be easy to get that loan. You get your loan at 50% of the value of the property, and then use that loan to go and pay for something else. And since it's a loan, it's not a payment, it's not a profit, it's not taxable. So you can use that loan towards investing into something else. And then you get a tax write-off on the interest that has to be paid on the loan, which adds on to the profits that you can make without being taxed on it. I a call during a live call where you're going to contact me and let me know or check on me to make sure that my internet's still working. I'm letting you know it's not. So, I mean, you personally can't put me through the technical support. That's fine. You can put me through to your supervisor. Somebody's going to talk to me. I will talk to the supervisor about confidential information. I'll talk to the supervisor about PIN codes and passcodes. But I asked you to transfer me to somebody, and from the request of transferring me, all of your efforts are put towards transferring me.
Yes, sir.
No, but I understand that protocol is not legitimate. You can transfer me to your supervisor. No, it's not, sir. Because if I called you with a hypothetical technological question that has nothing to do with the customer's account, I am not required to be verified for you to answer the question. If I was calling about products that T-Mobile is selling, it's just a random question. I don't have an account with T-Mobile. I am not required to be verified in order for me to ask a technical question to the technical support team. If I want to talk to the supervisor because the person that was supposed to be selling me a product is giving me a bad attitude and I don't like the person that is talking to me, then I will talk to their supervisor. I do not need to be a customer to be able to talk to a supervisor. I am only required as a customer to provide confidential information to me. I have to verify that I am the person that belongs to the account. But I am not required to verify myself in order for me to talk to a supervisor, and I am not required to verify myself to be transferred over to another department. I can be transferred to that department, and then that department can verify me before they talk to me, because they verify me when I get to that department anyway. So I don't need to be verified now. I can be transferred now, and then I can be verified later, or I can be transferred to a supervisor since I've asked for a supervisor 5 times, and then the supervisor can verify me after I talk to the supervisor about your inability to help me. Your choice. Well, you're following a script, but you're not following protocol because the customer requested to be transferred to a different department. The customer didn't request for you to give information about the account. So since the customer requested to be transferred, the customer needs to be transferred. So since the customer asked for a supervisor, the conversation is supposed to stop and it's supposed to be escalated to a supervisor. So until the supervisor is on the phone, I'm going to request to be transferred. And I don't need to be verified to talk to a supervisor. I need to talk to a supervisor. And then I get verified. Now, T-Mobile's protocol is T-Mobile's protocol is to verify the customer before releasing confidential information about the customer's account. That's the protocol. So I'm not asking you to release information about the confidentiality of the customer's account. I'm asking you to transfer me to the technical team because I missed a call from an employee that you guys identify as an active employee that is currently on the clock that recognized that they were supposed to be calling me. Now, that person can receive the call because that person is in a technical department, but they can't receive the call if you don't transfer the call, which means you're basically putting me into a queue where somebody randomly is going to pick up the line and then they're going to verify who I am anyway. Now, which is another thing. So no, you personally do not need to verify me, sir. You choose to verify me in order to transfer me. You could just drop me into another call list. I don't necessarily need to be verified for you in order for you to transfer me. And since I don't need to be verified to talk to your supervisor, the fact that I've spent 10 minutes asking you for your supervisor is a problem in and of itself because I could be escalated to your floor supervisor right now. You could put me on hold and go tap that person on the shoulder and say, hey, some guy wants to talk to you because he doesn't want to tell me what his information is. And that person is going to get on the phone and try to explain to me that you guys protocol verify. I've been a customer for T-Mobile for over 20 years. So I know what the protocols are. I've been on the phone with you 4 times today. I know what your protocols are. You guys actually just talked to me 2 hours and 30 minutes ago. I know what your protocols are. But the fact is that you are personally not helping me because you are not transferring my call. Your goal is to put somebody else on the phone with me that is not you. And you do not need to verify me to do that. I tell y'all, look, we lost the whole connection. We lost the whole connection. The whole thing went down while I'm on the phone. The whole thing went down and then came right back up. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yes, sir. I'll wait. All right, guys. While we're waiting on technical support to come back and help us out with this internet problem, because it looks like we're going to be getting thrown out quite a few times because the internet seems to be bombing. I had to reconnect the cell phone back to the internet, so I don't see myself getting this fixed in the next half hour. I really appreciate you coming to the show, Ravoid. Hopefully they're going to get us taken care of tonight. You feel free to hang out with me while I fuss at these people about the internet not working the way I want it to work. But what I will do is I will time out on TikTok because it's hard for me to broadcast on two different live streams at the same time. So let me go ahead and sign out of TikTok. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you this all the time. As long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to ask y'all to make it make sense. Ladies, make it make sense. As we sign out of TikTok, we're going to hang out here with you guys that are on YouTube and Twitch because, I mean, we want to see if we can get this internet situation fixed as soon as possible. We did have a few people come in on TikTok. I really appreciate that. Corey Jennings did a good job following us on TikTok. Brad was here for a good half hour before we lost connection. I'm telling you, we were doing a good job. It lasted about an hour and 10 minutes. I had to disconnect half of the group in order to make the situation work, which sucks. So everybody who was hanging out with us for over an hour, we lost all of y'all. The rest of y'all that are still crip walking with me, I really appreciate you guys showing support. We're going to try to see what technical support does. I might have to mute the mic temporarily in order to release confidential information to the supervisor that I talked to on the phone, which I just got to do that. But beyond that, I'll have the rest of the call live so that we can see how I deal with customer service when they try to explain to me what's going on with the internet service. Because we lost in an hour and 42 minutes, we lost signal 3 times. When Monique called, we lost the signal, and then we continued to lose the signal after Monique called, and now we're hotspotting from the cell phone. So it's been a rough day. It's been a rough day. But I said, nope, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this particular endeavor live because fuck it, why not? I mean, we're going to be talking tomorrow about the strike that's going on because people who have been ordering shit that's coming in the mail, their deliveries, their UPS, their USPS deliveries are going to be negatively impacted by this. So it's going to be tougher for us to get packages. It's going to be tough for us to get some of our mail. People are going on strike and not showing up for work. So the transportation of time sensitive stuff that's supposed to be there within 3 to 5 business days is now taking 15 to 20 business days to happen. So it will we're going to be talking about like how bad is that going to negatively impact our community. So I just want to see what you guys got to say about that. I got a lot of shorts coming up right now. I got a lot of comments here. Holy crap. I'm over here looking at TikTok. I got a lot of comments. People are jumping in on TikTok comments on the show. So I got a comment, response to their comments. Here's one. Take one person, White Wolf, said, wait, your parents drove you around to get candy. This was from our Halloween show last week. He said, you're lucky. We had to walk the neighborhood with pillowcases and then go home, drop it off, and go back on foot again. It's just like those stories when you walk 50 miles uphill in the snow with no shoes, with socks covered in mud, like kind of stories that they're trying to one-upper. But he's listening to the video that I was talking about that day. You remember, Red. All right, guys, just a second. He's here. Yes, sir, I'm still here. Thank you very much. I'm gonna get finished with that in just a second. I'm gonna tell you that story. See that? See that? Drop me in another queue. That's what I'm trying to tell him. He could have been did that. He made me. It's a 30-minute phone call he made me wait on so that he could drop me in somebody else's queue. So I'm on hold until somebody else answers the phone. That's crazy as fuck. So while I'm on hold, the story that I was telling him was our mom used to put us in a van and drive us to multiple different neighborhoods. We would fill the gas tank up and go and get as much candy as we could over the course of 8 hours. We would hit a bunch of neighborhoods. It was me, my older brother, my older sister, 2 garbage bags per person. We would go and knock off everybody's neighborhood. We would unload the heavy bag into the bag in the back of the van, and then we would go back out and hit more neighborhoods. So we never was overfilled with any one bag. All of it was in the vehicle. He's like, oh yeah, we marched uphill and we got our candy. When we got a full bag, we went back home. I understand that's how y'all used to do it back in the 60s and 70s, but in the 90s, in the 80s and 90s, and the early 2000s, when we was out there trick-or-treating, mama had a vehicle because she got 3 kids. She ain't buying no candy. She ain't buying no candy. She gonna take us and let us go rob everybody else. That's how we used to do it. Yes, sir.
For business, one of the account supervisors. May you know how would I address you, sir? May I have your name?
that can fix my problem and have that person verify me, because they're gonna have to verify me anyway. He's making an excuse saying, well, I can't transfer you unless I verify you. That's a lie. I was transferred 4 times before I got verified one time. I got verified 4 times in one call because I got transferred 4 times, because you have to verify me before you release confidential information about my account. So I can ask you to transfer me to technical support and then verify myself with technical support. You don't have to verify me to transfer my call. Yes, sir. The business, internet, technical support. The specific agent that I was working with earlier, her name is Monique. She's working right now. She was supposed to be doing a follow-up call 35 minutes ago. I missed her call because the internet went down. So I had to get everything back working and call her back. But because I'm calling the generic number, I go straight to customer care, and then customer care has to redirect me. He messaged her. She didn't message him back yet, but he messaged her. So he knows that she's at work, which means that he could tell her, your customer from earlier, your callback is on the line, and just wait and just transfer the call and let her re-verify me. But he's not even doing that.
So, here's what we'll do, sir. I'll try to get in touch with our home internet tech. But I just want to set property expectations. I might not be able to reach out to Monique.
Yeah, I understand that, because it's random select. But that was my thing, was that since he understands that I'm getting a call back directly from a specific agent, that he's not even trying to get me in touch with any random agent who would then verify who I am. He just really wanted to force me to verify myself with him before he transfers my call. And that's why I'm talking to his supervisor, because that's not how you help your customer. Because I'm getting paid by the hour. I'm losing over $100 for this hour that I don't have internet.
Right. So today, what we'll do, sir, is let me try to get in touch with someone from our home internet tech so we can get to the bottom of it. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I will. So now we're back on hold. We're going to be hanging out for a little bit. I think I'm going to do a long night tonight, Red. I think I'm going to do a long night tonight. I don't have a contract after this, so my next contract that I have to do with the other job that I've got going on is 5:30 Central Time tomorrow. So I actually have, for the rest of the night, technically, availability to kind of ride the wave. I don't plan on being on for 8 hours, but I can at least stay on for another hour and a half, 2 hours, if I have to work out the internet problem. But before I end the live stream, but because it'll kind of help. It'll help get a few people to pop in from YouTube as well. But yeah, I was just looking at some of the comments that they have over here on TikTok, because TikTok comments are wild, bro. They are super wild. So that was one of the comments that we had. The other comment that this gentleman has is Black families were once the most economically stable and fastest growing groups in the United States. And that was during, before, and right after MLK. It can and should be achieved again. And that was from breaking down cultural barriers that are leading us to fighting for equality. That's pretty impressive. Yes, sir. I'm still here.
Yeah. I gave them a quick, well, we see what's going on. So let me transfer you over so they can assist you.
I really appreciate your help. Yes, sir. All right, guys, give me just a moment. I'm gonna have to put a pause on this real quick so I can answer some confidential questions real quick. Hello? I'm having a terrible day.
I'm so sorry. What's going on? I hope I can make it better for you.
I wish you could. So I have the internet for the business. We're in the middle of a conference call right now, and I have to stop the conference call because the internet went out. I have to hotspot the cell phone to the laptop. I had to dismiss half of the group because the connection was unstable. I was getting a call back from Monique in the technical department about, how long was this call? 39. It was about 46 minutes ago. She called because it was supposed to be 10:05 Central Time, but I missed her call because I was dealing with the malfunction of the internet at the time that she called. I tried calling back. I spent 40 minutes on the phone with a gentleman that refused to transfer me to technical support because he was insisting upon trying to verify me when he recognizes that I have well over 300 people on a live call with me while I'm trying to get technical support to fix my internet so that I can stay on the call. When Monique recognized that I had a 2-hour call, she was going to call me 1 hour into that 2-hour call, where I would have several hundred people on a call when she calls me to make sure that my internet's still working. So my internet's not working. I'm hotspotting from a cell phone. I have half the group still on the call, and I need to get my technical support person to notate on the account that the internet took a dive an hour after she tried to fix it. Because I mean, you technically can't do anything with it besides reset it again. Order me another one. I got 2 of them in here already. Giving me a different model. That's probably the only other thing you can do. We can go through the list of ones that I haven't already received yet. But if you look at the history of the account, you'll see that you've sent me like 5 in the past 5 weeks. And you have on your record right now that this particular model completely deactivated itself from the system about 3 hours ago. And it deactivated itself from the system 45 minutes ago. So I do not have internet still. I have to stream to people all over the world. I have to broadcast I have contracts with people that are paying me $100 an hour to talk to them, to help them with their issues, to do deals in real estate and business and finance and investing. And I am losing $100 an hour each time this internet goes down. I'm losing money, and you guys are not compensating me for my loss. I couldn't even get 1 month free on my bill. They only gave me the $40 credit towards the internet portion. But I'm like, bro, it took you 2 weeks to ship the device because customer care forgot to put the company name on the outbound address. So the product sat at your office, at your warehouse for 2 weeks before you shipped it out. And it happened for more than one department, because the technical department did it with the replacement device. The customer care department did it with the new device. And then you had to overnight, which took 4 days, a different device, which is why I have so many of them in my possession right now. And you rotated them out, because if you look at the account, you see that you activated one on Wednesday, you deactivated it on Friday, reactivated one that was deactivated from Wednesday. That one has been activated since Friday. You had to reset it today. It hasn't been 4 days, and the device has shut off 18 times in 4 days, 2 times today. So it's I'm having a miserable experience. So what can you do to help me out with this? All right, guys, I'm gonna have to put you guys on mute for just a moment so that I can give out some confidential information. Stay with me, please.
Do you know the phone number that's associated with your internet service?
Oh God, no. No, so,
you have 3 of them.
Tell me about it. So you have the one that's still connected should be the one that we're having the problem with. You have one that was disconnected last week on Tuesday or Wednesday. That one is completely done. You have one that was connected last week, Tuesday or Wednesday, and was disconnected on Friday. That one is in a box. You have one that was disconnected and then reconnected on Friday. That is the current active line. That is the one that we're having a problem with right now.
Can you give me the number off that one?
6696, I believe. Oh, sorry, 6629. That the EIEM number. 6629.
I need the IMEI.
Yeah, 6629.
I need the full number.
Oh, the full number? Oh, okay. 9900180811666629. Oh, it's been one of them days.
If you were dealing with hundreds of people at a time,
Oh, the worst part about this is that this business, 95% of it is internet. When you look at the history of this business, that we bought we were doing over 1,000 gigs per phone of internet service up until September of 2023. Bought a hotspot device, 100 gigs. That wasn't helping. Then expanded to the home internet in February, and that wasn't helping. Upgraded home internet in August. That wasn't helping. Now you've got 3 different lines of service providing hotspot to a laptop in addition to the home internet device. And you still have active usage of the hotspot device in addition to the home internet device. So you have a 100 gig hotspot device being utilized by the same business that the unlimited 5G hotspot device or the unlimited 5G home internet is being provided on, and 3 cell phones because you're not providing enough service. And instead of the T-Mobile doing something different, they just say, I'm sorry, and leave me with hotspot with the cell phones. And like I said before, like 95% of this business, this is a real estate business alongside an investment business, advertising with customers so that we can get more business. We've got subcontracts that we deal with in addition to that. And all of these things that we got going on right now, we need to communicate with people all over the world. And we're not able to do that because we're losing connection in the middle of the call because the internet is going down, and it has been consistently going down since August 6th. You have a plethora of phone calls every week, every other week, 3, 5, 7 calls. Each one of these calls is an hour, 2 hours a piece, where we're quote unquote figuring it out. You've got 2 different support tickets from the past 3 weeks where nothing got done, but they closed out one of the tickets, opened up a new ticket, attached it to the last ticket because they closed out the ticket without solving the problem. Customers still suffering with no internet service. And you can tell that I'm not feeding you no smoke. There's no gaslighting here, because if you look at the service, you see that right now there's a cell phone that is hotspotting right now instead of the home internet service. And that cell phone is 0119. You can see it right now that cell phone is hotspotting right now because there's no internet service. And you're looking at over the month, each one of the lines is doing between 500 and 1,000 gigs of internet speed every month. And it's not supposed to happen when you have unlimited 5G internet. Because technically, unlimited 5G internet, all 3 phones and a laptop should be functioning off of the one hotspot device. So why are we burning 3 cell phones to power a computer? But T-Mobile hasn't fixed my problem yet. But that's what gets me frustrated. So I try my best not to curse the people out on the phone, because the person that I'm talking to is not the problem. But the full totality of the problem is that this bill is $350 something a month, and I'm using 97% of the phones to power the bill, where the most expensive part of the bill is adding all of these lines so that I can have all this internet service so that I can power one laptop. Because the other laptop is on a hotspot device in Florida.
Can you do me a favor and power this device?
Yeah. So I'm gonna unplug this thing because it doesn't have an on-off button. It has an internal SIM card. It does not have the ability to remove the SIM card. When I try the reset button, normally you're supposed to reset this device by pushing the reset button, holding it for about 10 seconds. It's supposed to change a bunch of colors, turn off, and then a light's supposed to come back on. It doesn't happen with this device. You hold it for probably 6 or 7 seconds. The light turns green, turns red, turns off. And then after 10 seconds, there no other lights come back on. The device stays off until you disconnect it. And then when you reconnect it, it takes about a minute, maybe the 30, 40 seconds. Then you see a red light, which I see the red light. Then after the red light, you see a flashing red light. Then after the flashing red light, you see a flashing blue light. Then after that, you see a blue light. And then that blue light flickers for the remainder of the time. Every 15, 20 seconds, you see a flashing blue light. And then it's a stable blue light. Then it's a flashing blue light. Almost like a heart monitor with somebody that's on a pacemaker that lost battery power. That's what the business. So half of the company is at the first address, and the other half of the company is at the second address. Uh, hang tight, guys. We're gonna try to get this internet going. This is wild. Half a 2-hour call. I'm on the phone with technical support. They can see that counter there. 51 minutes and 16 seconds. Nope. Are they showing outages in the area? It's becoming common. I don't know. Somebody was just telling me a couple seconds ago about missiles being launched from Iran. So maybe we got hit by EMP strike. I don't know, but everything shut down over here. But that support ticket that got closed was supposed to be monitoring the outages in the area from 2 weeks ago when we had the outages in the area. So how did they fix the problem if the area is out right now? And the area goes out at the. I'm sorry. Oh, I got at least 2 ticket numbers. I should have had Monica give me another ticket number from today, but the first ticket number that they closed was 87196700. And then the second ticket number from Friday was 87262538.
So it must have been working at the time that they checked it. They said it was working.
No, they were supposed to be fixing something in the neighborhood, and once that got fixed, which is probably the outage that I was experiencing while the device was broken, I guess they say, well, the outage is fixed, but the device turning itself off where it's not providing internet service to the laptop wasn't fixed. That is the ticket where they say, well, we sent him 2 devices, and you did. You sent me.
It was
Nah. Maybe the outage was resolved, but the internet wasn't fixed, because if If you look at the rest of the history from the 22nd, you had a replacement device sent. Huh? Oh, I've been dealing with this problem since August 6th. That's the issue. That's why there's no way that they could have closed a support ticket with respect towards the problem, because you sent me a replacement device because the original device would power itself off sporadically during the phone call. I'm telling you, it turned itself off. So they sent me a replacement device. The replacement device did not provide service at all. So they were supposed to send me another replacement device. The replacement device didn't get shipped. So customer care sent me a different model. That different model didn't get shipped. So customer care sent me the same model a second time. Then the two new models got shipped. So I've got two models and the old defective model in the property right now. You activated one model last week on Wednesday. That model defected by Friday. You disconnected the second model because it was scheduled for return because you sent me two of them. You had to reconnect the model on Friday, disconnect the model that you connected, which is the one that we're using right now, and schedule the original one that you had connected for return. So I got 3 return shipping labels. Then the one that you connected on Friday went down Friday twice, 4 times on Saturday, 3 times on Sunday, 3 times on Monday, 3 times today. And it was over an hour. It was down earlier. Monica had us do a reset on the device, reconnect everything on the device. And then she said she was going to do a call back. She said, how long does it normally last? I say about an hour, and then it dumps again. So she said, I'm going to call back in an hour. She called me back in 59 minutes. She was the only person to ever literally call me back. Most people tell me they're going to call me back, and I never get a call back. So she's supposed to call me back. The supervisor from Friday is supposed to call me back. The technical support person, I think his name was Brian, Brad, and Shane were supposed to call me back from last week. Nobody else called me back, just Monica. So, or Monique. When she called me, I was trying to get to the phone, missed the call. She's talking to me on voicemail. I'm calling back. I spent 40-something minutes on the phone trying to explain to some guy that I need to go talk to the technical department. He didn't want to put me through to the technical department. He wants to verify me in customer care so that he can transfer me to the technical department. You can't fix my problem, buddy. I need to talk to technical support. My modem's not working. Modem hasn't been working. As of right now, it's been down for over an hour. This live communication started 2 hours, 13 minutes, 32 seconds ago. For the last hour, the internet's been down. I'm hotspotting from the cell phone. So it's been a series of events where it has never been rectified, and I just don't have internet, and my cell phones are powering the laptop right now. Yeah. Ma'am, I don't know what's going on because they telling me the ridiculousness of, well, exactly. Well, but what they tell me is, well, sir, I'm going to send you a device. Okay, I got to wait for the device. Then when I get the device, they say, well, sir, let the device run for 2 or 3 days. And then we're going to do a call back and we're going to see how well the service works. Okay, well, the service is garbage. Then I call and they say, okay, let's troubleshoot the device. Then when we troubleshoot the device, one time we troubleshooted, there are no outages during the call. So it's not the outages, it's just the device. The next time we call, there's outages in the area. So it's not the device, it's the outages. Then we follow up again. The device turned itself off. So it's not providing service right now, but there's no outages right now. But 3 hours ago, there were no outages in the neighborhood, but the device was not connected to the network. So nobody knows why the device was not connected to the network 3 hours ago, but there were no outages in the area. Right now, the device might be connected to the network, but there's no service in the area. But it's amazing how the hotspot from the cell phone is working, but the 5G router isn't working. If there's outages in the area, wouldn't the cell phone not be able to provide network? What kind of outage only impacts the internet on the hotspot device? That doesn't impact, because it's all cell towers from the same cell phone company. So why are the cell phones working, but the internet's not? And why is the hotspot internet from the cell phone working, but the internet's not from the router? And it's Ethernet cable. It's not just, oh, well, it could be a bad Wi-Fi signal. The laptop is about 2.5 feet away from the router, so it's not something interfering with the signal. The router is plugged into the laptop, so it's not Wi-Fi, it's Ethernet cable, and it's still not providing signal. So why did it shut down? They don't have answers to these questions.
As far as the device shutting itself down, it could be definitely a faulty device. But as far as your connection itself, that's going to have anything to do with the router, like we already said. But as far as like the outages affecting certain services, that is possible. You know, there are certain, levels and compartments to the internet service that we provide. So sometimes when there is an outage or issue in the area, it will affect different parts of it. So you could not have internet.
They told me something about the towers that I'm operating next to are low broadband signals, and I asked them if they could switch me over to high broadband signals. So I can I get to some high broadband signals?
Well, it looks like all three of the towers that are near you, all of them are bad.
And that's terrible because that's within a 100-mile radius. That's not even a 50-mile radius. That's a 100-mile radius, which is technically half of the state.
Yeah, it looks like we don't provide a really good connection for the area.
Can you? Ew. That we're looking at relocation coming soon, and I need to find out if there's some different areas in this state that might have better service, or if the whole state is garbage.
The areas that I'm seeing, the whole area.
Yeah, I'm on the northwest side. My expectation is to go to the southeast side of the state. Is the network better on the southeast side?
The zip code of maybe the area you may be looking at.
Oh, bless. Hold on. Let me grab this. Because there are. Oh, here it is. 1 second. Yes. Yes.
Oh, that actually looks like that area is pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent. So that'll probably solve my problem then.
You know what you would have to do.
You got to spend $400,000 to solve my problem. What we gonna have to put that in my notes that the customer spent $400,000 to relocate in order to improve his network because T-Mobile's network was not effective in the area that he started in. It is, but that is literally what's about to happen. I am literally about to go and put money down on a 10-acre piece of land that has better internet service than the location I'm in right now.
When you bought this service, you were supposed to be notified.
But you know, the funny thing is that when they recommended this service, this is where I was. When they gave me the service, this is where I was. When they upgraded the service, I've been in this location since February. And I activated the service 2 weeks after I got here at the second week of February. So that's what, because if you look at the account, you see that the home internet service was added on about the 15th or 16th of February. I've been here since the 1st. and then they upgraded it to another device in August, and then they continue to change devices. But what you're telling me is that they knew that I was in a terrible location for this particular service, but they have me paying extra money every month for garbage service that they know is not going to be effective for their customer, when they could have just encouraged me to just keep using my hotspot, since that's probably going to work better than the home internet.
Yes, sir.
But the hotspot's not guaranteed neither, because the hotspot for the cell phones are limited. So after a certain period of time, I switched from 5G unlimited 2G network down to 265 kilobytes per second, which is not going to power a computer. So even though I'm spending all this money on this unlimited hotspot 5G data, or the unlimited 5G data on top of that, I'm not getting 5G data from T-Mobile. I'm getting like 2G data on my best day.
You're right. Yes. I have to be up.
So is there anything that we can do about this besides a $500,000 move?
No, sir. Shit. Because, like I said, don't let me put any more tickets. It's a well-known issue in the area.
Wow. So they're telling you can't add another ticket. So the only thing you can do is update the current active ticket and let them know that the device went down a second time and is still down, and the customer is still using his cell phones to hotspot his laptop and is extremely unsatisfied.
Right. That's the only thing. And then, like, with it, I mean, with the customers being so bad in the area, I don't see what they would be able to do,
I mean, since they sold me on this situation and I'm paying all this extra money every month, I mean, they should really. I asked them for 1 free month of service because I went through all the hell and damnation I went through, and it wasn't just with the internet. I had problems with customer care. I had problems with shipments of products. I had problems with T-Mobile in general. And they said, well, now your problem is just with the internet. We'll only credit you your internet. And I'm like, well, my whole business is suffering. So I'm losing thousands of dollars at a time. And you're telling me, well, we'll give you $40 for your inconvenience. When you start losing $100 an hour, $40 is not compensating. So I don't understand, like, how are they going to compensate a customer that they talked into spending extra money? And I don't know. I might not be the most expensive commercial account you guys got, so you probably prioritize somebody else over me. But I can tell you, $350 for a phone bill is a lot of money. To say that half the policy is not functioning, it's a lot in and of itself. But to say that half of the services that is being provided is not functioning.
Like I say, you're right. I totally agree with you. I could argue with you.
And this is hardball because the bill was paid before the bill was due. So when I asked them for a month coverage, I wasn't even behind on the bill. I had already paid for the month. I'm just like, hey, well, cover me for October, since it's going to be October and I'm still going to be dealing with this. They're like, nope, we'll only give you $40. But I lost $5,000 because I couldn't talk to any of my clients Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. And $100 an hour, I'm not getting it. And then I had dropped calls on Friday, drop calls on Saturday, drop calls on Sunday, drop calls yesterday, drop calls today, lost half the group today after I dropped the call. I only got a half of the group still here with me, 2 hours and 24 minutes in, where an hour and 24 minutes of it, they're waiting on me to get off the phone. I've been on the phone for an hour and 25 minutes trying to fix the internet while they're waiting on me to get off the phone so I can finish the call. Nah, and this is and you understand that half of it is on the East Coast and the other half of the business is on the West Coast. So this ain't no small business. This ain't like, rolling blunts on the back porch talking about I'm a businessman. Like I'm sitting over here with a cross country business where we're trying to go international. I got people from Romania hanging out, waiting on me to get off the phone, and I can't even talk to my cross country business, my international business, because my internet is garbage. And I mean, I would expect this if I had Metro PCS, because that's like the basement model T-Mobile brand. But for me to have the second to highest tier commercial account. The only thing higher than this would be, I think, an extra $10 or $20 a month, where you really give me a free replacement every year instead of giving me a free replacement every 2 years. Is the highest. But Magenta is pretty much the highest policy that you guys have. I have the most expensive policy. I've paid for every upgrade that you guys can offer, and I am not being prioritized right now. That's sad. Like, you don't even have to talk me into spending more money. I voluntarily asked for it and incorporated it into the bill, and then said, give me the top tier so that I don't have to deal with this. And now that I'm dealing with it, I say, well, can you guys at least throw me 1 month free, since I'm being grossly inconvenienced and you can't fix it? They won't even do that. So how do I feel like a prioritized customer if I'm on the line for 2 hours out of today? Because I was on the line for hours and change. I started late. I started the call late. It was supposed to start at 8. I started at 8:35. Then after I started the call, I was supposed to get a call at 10. She called me at 10:05. When she called me, I was on the call. It was supposed to be a 2-hour call, and that 2-hour call is 2 hours and 30 minutes, because an hour and 30 minutes of it, I'm on the phone with technical support. So I didn't even get a full 2-hour call in. I got a 49-minute call in, and then I lost internet. So I didn't even have internet for the callback. So she was like, oh, let me just call him back, make sure his internet's working. If I would have caught that phone call, I could have told her, baby, it's off again. And I wouldn't have had to spend 40 minutes with customer care trying to get this guy who doesn't know Adam from a hole in the ground to transfer me to technical support. That's one of the reasons why I should get a whole month free, because I have to negotiate with the first person that answers the phone to transfer me to technical support, so that technical support can document the fact that the device ain't working. Well, I got to talk to this guy for 40 minutes and he can't even fix the problem. He's not even a manager. He can't even credit my account and say, oh man, you going through this again, bro. Let me give you an extra $50. He can't even do that. He's got to go talk to somebody else and say, hey, boss, can I credit his account because he's being grossly inconvenienced right now? That he got to go ask somebody else for permission to help me. If you got to ask somebody else for permission to help me, why the hell is you even talking to me, bro? You like the first operator on the call. Who do I direct your call to? Because you can't fix my problem. But I spent 40 minutes on the phone with him asking for a supervisor. And then when I got the supervisor, I spent 10 minutes explaining to the supervisor, why the hell am I not talking to technical support before I got you? So that first hour that I was on the phone was just trying to get to you. And it took you less than 30 minutes to realize it ain't shit we can do, because the system's down. Once they get the towers back up, then you guys can reach back out to me and try to troubleshoot the device to find out if it's the device and the towers. But while the towers are down, you can't fix the device.
Right.
But when the towers come back up, I need a call back from somebody to fix the device. And if it's a specific model, because this was the problem that I asked with the original tech support guy on the 21st of September. I said, if you have a bad batch of devices, because somebody told me that what I experienced when I tell you about the reset button is a defect of the product. When you hit the reset button, it is supposed to power down. And then after 10 or 15 seconds, it's supposed to power itself back up without you releasing the reset button. When you hit the reset button, it powers itself down and it stays off. You have to unplug it, plug it back in, and power it back up. If it is supposed to go through a special reboot process that requires it to power itself back up, the device is defective because the device powers down, but it doesn't power itself back up. And there's no on and off button on this box. There's nothing. You unplug it and you plug it back in. You have a reset button. That's the only buttons you have on this device. So if your whole shipment is defective, what do you do for your customer? Because you can't keep sending them the same broke product if your whole shipment is defective. When they sent me the other, I think it was the TMO device, the TMO gateway, that one, you plug it into the computer. The computer is supposed to show you an Ethernet cable icon to let you know that it's connected to the router via Ethernet cable. It only showed Wi-Fi connection. So that means it's not providing internet service to the laptop from the Ethernet cable. It's also connected via Wi-Fi, but it is not showing connected with the Wi-Fi. This device right now is showing that it's not connected with the Wi-Fi, but that's because the towers are down.
Right.
So, but right. And that was the issue that I had. I have to connect the laptop to the device for the Ethernet cable and Wi-Fi connected to the laptop at the same time in order to have enough internet service to function the laptop without the laptop shutting down. But if the internet goes down from the Wi-Fi, the Ethernet cable is not providing enough internet to the laptop to function a laptop from the router. So that means that you have to unplug the router and plug in the cell phone and turn on the 5G hotspot from the cell phone, where the cell phone by itself can power the laptop until it runs out of 5G data. But the router can't power the same laptop.
That is so much work. Oh my
God. And it gets worse because I've got two cell phones on the same phone because I got an S23 Ultra, and so I got an eSIM and I got a SIM card, and I have to switch back and forth between SIM cards so that I can switch back and forth between the internet service, which is why you see 3 lines on 2 cell phones, 3 lines using all of the internet data between 3 cell phone numbers on 2 devices. That's a lot of work that I'm going through just to keep my business alive until T-Mobile does something to compensate me. And I pay the bill diligently. I don't even say, fuck that, I'm not paying this bill till y'all fix my... No, I send you the money in advance. I send you the money in advance. And then I say, can y'all do something for my gross inconvenience? It's not your department. That's the problem. In your department, you would have to put all of the comments and statements that I'm making, all of the extreme dysfunction that's happening with the account, the gross negligence of the employees, and then I would have to go to customer care, re-verify myself again, explain the whole situation to them for another 40 minutes, and then have them try to offer me $40 when they should be crediting me a whole month service because I've been dealing with this for 2 months. The first support ticket started August 6th. Y'all got it in y'all record. I ain't had now complaint from March until August. Now time that I call y'all. Never been late on the bill. Never had to make an adjustment. Didn't have to do an extension or nothing. Just August 6th, the system stopped functioning. You gave me a new device. And since y'all gave me a new device, it's been all downhill. All downhill. The old device was sluggish, but at least the old device didn't shut off. It didn't operate like 5G. It operated like 4G or 3G, but it at least still operated. But now, while I got 5G, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But it more often when I need it, it's not working. I wouldn't be complaining if it shut down while I was asleep, when I was off. If I wasn't working at the time, I wouldn't have that much to complain about. If I was wrapping up my day and the situation went down, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to take off early, I wouldn't have nothing to complain about. But I'm sitting here in the middle of business, and I have to stop my business because I don't have service. And I don't have a solution, but my bill's already paid. So I mean, I know that you personally can't do anything for me from technical support side, but I mean, can you put 1,002 notes in my account?
Oh yeah.
Because this is horrible. The supervisor that's supposed to be calling me back from Friday can call me back and see those notes. She was trying to get somebody to do something for my account. Somebody above her said no to the account. And she's like, well, I'm going to go talk to somebody else. Y'all need to talk to somebody. Y'all need to talk to a lot of people because this makes no sense. All of this that I got to go through. And I contact my colleague. He told me the hotspot running slow too. He told me so at 8:59, so that was it's 11:26 right now, so that's about 2 hours ago. He said, yeah, it's running extremely slow sometimes. I asked him, are you having trouble with the hotspot? So that's the Jet Extreme device that he's got over in Riverview, Florida. He's like, oh no, it's running slow over there too.
Now I know there are over there, so there could be an issue there.
He had an issue with his towers in his area too. So I mean, I don't know, like you gotta spend a bunch of money to relocate him too. We gotta spend $500,000 to relocate him to a better tower so the T-Mobile can. But why am I paying $500,000 to get a better tower? I might as well build the damn tower myself. Like I don't understand, why am I spending $500,000 to relocate to a better tower when T-Mobile won't even give me $350 for 1 free month of service because of the gross inconvenience? Because you see clearly that there's no service. Like it's not like, oh, I just lost a couple of hours. You're looking at shit. He just burnt out. He maxed out 3 cell phones. Oh yeah, I mean Florida got hurricanes, but what happened over here? What happened on the northeast side of this state? Because the northeast side of this state over here, like it's almost like they just didn't pay Tico. Tico just cut off they towers and said, nope, y'all don't have electricity because T-Mobile ain't paid the electric bill. They just unplugged the towers. It ain't nothing but woods out here. This is some hills have eyes, trees, nothing but trees. This is like like the worst like Texas Chainsaw Massacre style environment that you could possibly imagine. There is no way that somebody can drive a car into a tower. The tower is so far off the main road because there's nothing but woods out here, woods and cell phone towers. So I don't understand how T-Mobile, one of the largest networks in the country, forgot this one state. This is terrible. And I mean, and that's why I say, like, you know, I'm sorry I'm taking up a lot of your time, but I'm just like, man, I kind of feel like there should be something somewhere that T-Mobile can do for customers like me, because I mean, there is no way, like, you can look at the data usage of the account and say shit, because it out of the 5 lines on it, 3 of them are active, and all 3 of the active lines on the account are running the internet service instead of phone calls. You notice how many calls go out of this phone, right? You notice how there's very few phone calls, very few text messages coming from the 2 devices, but there's a shit ton of data going off of all 3 lines. And then the router ain't showing much data. New line after new line after new line.
Because your data usage isn't showing, and I've been told that normally when that happens, the plan that you have is no longer.
Which data usage wasn't showing? The one for the hotspot device? Oh yeah, because then you can fix his internet service, because that one was supposed to be I think a 24-month thing, because we financed the JetX Stream device. So that's supposed to be 100 gigs of unlimited 5G data, and every now and again that data stream phases out. I done walked into the wrong neighborhood. They got me talking about some, oh, let's buy this house. That ain't no house, bro. That's a church. $400,000 for full walls. Talking about some full bedrooms. That is not full bedrooms. Is that a tier?
So now my system is down. So I can't even look up the link.
Hold up. You lost your service? How T-Mobile lose internet, y'all? Oh Lord. This gotta be end of days. This gotta be the one of the people that's sitting over here on the call with me told me some, oh, what you mean Cold War stop? This is the kind of stuff that a Cold War would look like, bro. If all of your technology go down at the same time, bro, that's EMP attacks. Electric magnetic pulse attacks, because there ain't no way everybody's computer stopped working at the same time. I tell you what, when you get off from work, go home, get on Netflix, watch this movie called End of Days. You're gonna be like, oh hell. It's moderate. It's not this year, but it's been out since later this year on Netflix. It might be last year, a year before, that kind of thing. But it's a recent movie. It's and funny thing, I actually talked to the people about it when we did the seminar a couple weeks ago. Typically, what we do when we transfer information, because TV was about providing knowledge through entertainment, what they do is they take natural disasters. Huh? No, not that one. Not that one. It's way newer than that. It's way newer than that. No. Arnold Schwarzenegger was a politician by the time this movie came out. No, this movie was like within the last 2 years it came out. So you'll find it on Netflix. It's called End of Days, and the movie's about a electric magnetic pulse attack that happens on a country that makes all the animals go nuts, makes all the technology go down, interferes with all communication between everybody. So phone towers and everything go down. And everybody is in martial law trying to figure out how to survive. And the people in the rural areas, out in the middle of the sticks, in the woods, are not understanding that the country has fallen to an external attack, and the country is attacking itself because it can't communicate with each other. And all the animals are going crazy, and the animals are literally going crazy. Like, this woman was surrounded by 200 deer, and then all the deer took off running. And she don't know why they mobbed up like that, but it was because of an EMP attack where the sound waves that we can't hear, the human ear can't hear, was negatively impacting the responses of animals and people and technology all over the place. Nobody's car worked. You had to walk. And then you think about what I'm experiencing right now with T-Mobile being down all day for the last 2 months. And you stop and think, Israel shooting missiles at the United States, and you got to ask yourself, well, hold on now, because this could be real. The difference between conspiracy and the truth is the fact that people refuse to accept the truth. I am not a conspiracy theorist, but truth be told, when we love that Resident Evil series, the Lord of the Dead, the Fear of the Walking Dead, we had what, 8 years of zombie movies, and then we had the pandemic. Started the same way, didn't it? One person got it, it rapidly spread, and then it went worldwide inside of 90 days. Exact same thing. Oh yeah, because what they had to do is they had to find a vaccine before they let it go, because it was man-made. It was a man-made thing. It wasn't like the flu virus multiplied itself. It was something that was released in the military games, and then all the soldiers, when they came home, they spread it to everybody else, and then everybody else got it. Because what we don't know while we're all enlisting into the military as reserve is that the military is like human test subjects. Yeah. So they're the first persons with experimental biological warfare, which is part of the Cold War. So when one of the guys was asking me on this call, he was like, are we still in the Cold War? I thought it ended. Like, no. Because if the Cold War would have ended, then we would not have had the pandemic in 2019. That actually started October of 2018, and then it became something important to talk about in February 2019. Because the military Olympics happened in October of 2018. Nobody talks about that part. But the country fell in 2020. So it's a very interesting. Mm-hmm. When they talked about the 200,000 shallow graves in Wisconsin, nobody talks about why did they have 200,000 shallow graves in Wisconsin. Just they had the graves dug in 2 million shallow little grave tubs sitting in an open field as if they were ready to bury several million people, because they just knew it was going to happen. Nobody just stores stuff in a random location unless they really need it for upcoming events. We don't even store. You don't know too many people that store canned goods for the next storm. We go and get it right when it happens. So when you've got governmental agencies storing millions of shallow graves in the middle of an open field somewhere, you already know they're planning on burying millions of people. So what will happen that will cause that many people to lose their life? Nobody talks about that. That's where conspiracies come from. It's terrible. And then you look at the new campaigns that we got going on. We're not gonna like who we get, but when we get what we get, we're going to be looking at how they are going to be so much more friendly towards the Second Amendment because they are enlisting everybody. There's a 950-page document called Project 2025. You got to go look at it, read it, look at how much it doesn't impact most of the people in America. The first, out of all of the bad parts about it, the part that got me was a part where they're talking about the K through 12 is getting the military enrollment test. Why are you testing our children to be enlisted in the military?
Well, you know, they said that we want to stop. They want to bring the draft.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, the draft ain't never stopped. That's the funny part. People think that the draft is over. The draft isn't over. What happened is that most of us were baited in by the grants that are being offered from the GI Bill to go to college. So most of us are military reserve by volunteer. So the draft comes from everybody under the age of 55 that is over the age of 18, that is not the last born, that is male, is going to get drafted when the next war breaks out. But they are doing the military enrollment test on the kids K through 12. So you're going to have kids that are taking the SATs, the California Achievement Test, and the military enrollment test. And everybody who passed is going to get enlisted. Everybody who gets enlisted is going to get drafted. Everybody who's not qualified will not get drafted. But all these kids are gamers. All these children playing Call of Duty and World of Warcraft. Guess who's going to be on the front lines? Then next step, you seen that movie Game On? Go watch it. It's a movie about a soldier being controlled by a child because of a Neuralink. Guess what Elon Musk is making right now? A Neuralink. Okay, now I told y'all that they put it into the movies first. You get comfortable with it, then it becomes reality. So this man that made the Cybertruck, the same man that's making those robots that are going to be functioning on their own, self-autonomous sentient beings that are going to be self-learning AIs, just like Terminator. The same guy that's making the Neuralink that is going to allow somebody's internal conscious to be able to function robotics. You know, any computer that can be controlled by a internal source can be externally controlled by an external source. So if you put a chip in somebody's brain where your brain can control a computer, that means that computer can control your brain in reverse. Once they put that into action, they're going to put that into the soldiers, and then they're going to have those kids that can play really good Call of Duty games. They're going to have those kids controlling the soldiers, where the soldiers are going to be on the front lines, and the kids are going to be using the soldiers as toys. The same way that one young man got drafted by the military because his drone outran military jets. They put him out there in the military too. They arrested him and then they put him out there. They put him in the military. I mean, if we want to win, but how do you call yourself trying to win when China owns most of the debt that America's got? I mean, really, they could just buy us out. They don't really have to come and take us over. But if they were going to take us over, there's 4 Chinese people for every 1 American based on population. I don't understand why we would even call ourselves trying to go up against certain countries when we don't have the capabilities to defend ourselves from each other, much less be able to defend on a 4-on-1 attack where these people know karate and they can have one person take out 10 without weapons. And you're talking about it's a 4-to-1 ratio. That makes no sense. I don't understand why they don't have basic training in the schools right now. If you're really going to try to turn everybody into a soldier, teach everybody how to be self-sustainable so that we're not depending on our country. They're not doing that. But it's a capitalist country, and then they're going to make us go and conquer somebody and drop a bomb on the people that we can't fight. It makes no sense. So what have you been able to accomplish with that hotspot there that you're fixing? So you checked the JetX stream. You said that it's not showing a signal. So T-Mobile lost signal on 2 sides of the country. So let's make sure that we put that in the notes too, because so what you're telling me is that not only not only is the Jet Extreme out in a bad network area, the rest of the 5G data is out on the other side on the West Coast, out in a bad network area as well at the exact same time. So this entire business doesn't have internet service.
So terrible.
It is, and this is that's 90% of the service that's being provided by T-Mobile to the company that you're dealing with right now.
Right.
All internet. So we're using cell phones and Cox cable to replace T-Mobile's internet service, and still paying $350 a month for the internet service from T-Mobile. That's a hard thing to say because it's dark over here right now. It's almost midnight. You be scouring the tower, and you sound like the kind of person that would be treated like a suspect and be shot at because you climbed the tower to fix it. So, and we got those folks over here that don't like it when you got a good tan. So, I mean, I don't know, as much as you would want to fix that tower, I might give you some coffee and say, sweetheart, do it in the sun come up, because if you go out there with a flashlight right now, they might arrest you for trying to steal the tower. It's one of them things. Well, is there a way that we can set me up with some kind of callback so that somebody can let me know that the towers are working so that we can then troubleshoot the device, because the device ain't working. Hotspot's working though, but the device.
So I just call back tomorrow.
All right, so we're on the Central Standard Time. I've got a 5:30 Central Time, 5:30 to 6:30. So if you want to, what time are you going to be at work tomorrow?
Your time. It'll be 3:00 your time when I come in.
Oh no, I got a call at 3:00. I gotta. Oh, you're on the East Coast? Oh, okay. Why we ain't on the same timeline then? Because Arizona's supposed to be right next to one another. So do 6:45, 7:00. 7:00 is fine. 7:00. 7:00 is fine. Lord, let's pray. And Monique is in your department, so let her know that I had tried to call her back, but they gave me 40 minutes of hell and I couldn't get through to her. That's why you talking to me, because I know she left a message on the voicemail. She swore to God that she was going to give me a second call back because she missed the first call back. But while she was trying to call me back, I ended up talking to you. So I should have you, her, Susan, Amanda, Amy, Sean, Brad, and Brian. All y'all supposed to call me back since last week, Monday. So I should get at least 2 callbacks tomorrow. I'm just letting you know, like, I got that many people that promised that they was going to call me back. So one of them's a supervisor, so I should have at least one supervisor and one non-supervisor call me back by tomorrow. So every time the phone ring, I'm gonna jump on it. Hold on a second, because we still own the call. Let me pause this right. All right, everybody. So thank Martina for trying to fix the internet, and then Monique for getting us on the call earlier, and then who's the other one? Sharon, Susan, Amy, and Amanda for getting us through the weekend, and Brad and Brian for getting us through Wednesday and Thursday. So because of these nice people that are trying to help us out, because Sharon and Susan and them are in the Philippines, because these nice people trying to help us out with our internet service, we're able to connect until they can fix this problem. So I'll update you guys as soon as I get off the call. So you're welcome. You got 18 thumbs up for that. Everybody's paying attention. So I'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you very much. You too. Bye-bye. What? And then it say I'm still offline? Wow. I don't know, Brad. I don't know. Oh shit. Oh shit. There it is. So the reason why we've been having internet issues is because I'm in a location where the towers are shit. They've got low broadband. Low broadband is not doing well, and the towers keep kicking off. And I'm not getting good service because those towers keep kicking off. So we just got to keep making it do what it do. We're supposed to be getting us a bigger property, going and relocating to another location pretty soon. We're gonna transition in November, but we're probably not going to be able to make that transition finalized until January. So we got like 3 or 4 months of dealing with this every day of the week. So like 100 more shows of bouncing back and forth with bad internet. Then after that, we're going to be blowing up. But until we get there, we're going to be twiddling our thumbs. We're trying to make it make sense, and trying to make it work. Mr. Pibbs was saying, because I know I talked to you about Mr. Pibbs. Mr. Pibbs was saying that he had started doing his own little YouTube channel thing because he wasn't sticking with us. He works on his own motivation, which is not nearly as well as what we were operating on. He went on and got him a promoter to get him 1,000 subscribers outright, which I guess that's good. But I mean, he got quote unquote monetized on TikTok, but he's not because he's doing gaming. So you should have hundreds of thousands of fans quickly. But he's on gaming. He's not really getting that much traffic. But he says that he's doing really, really well. He's proud of himself. But I've got affiliate contracts. So he's playing video games, and eventually he's going to get some traffic onto the podcast. But when I told him, I was like, yeah, I crossed over like 40,000, 45,000 views on TikTok alone, plus the traffic that I'm getting on YouTube, plus the traffic that I'm getting on Pinterest, plus the traffic I'm getting on Twitter, plus the traffic I'm getting on Twitch. He was like, damn. I was like, yeah, I know, because it's harder to maintain a following when you got a different topic every day of the week. If you get a specific niche and you stick to that niche, you get like-minded people come to your podcast, and those like-minded people stay on your podcast. And then every time you go live, those people will watch your stuff, which means that you're going to have a higher viewership rating, which means that you're going to have a higher return rating, which means that your podcast will do a lot better. But when you're doing random topics on a regular basis, you're going to have certain people come in for certain things, and certain people leave for the same situation, and certain people will come for different things and not come for other things. So it really depends on what you try to do. But since I'm a holistic person, I said, well, it's to me, it's boring to talk about the same thing day in and day out all the time, because you're not going to always have every new detailed kind of information that other people are going to want. You're not going to always have that. You're going to have some stuff that I want and some stuff on that topic I'm not interested in. And then you're going to lose me during the times when I don't want to hear that. But if I'm interested in what you're talking about this time around, then I'll come back. But if it's a different topic most days out of the week, then I can come back and see what you're talking about. And then we can talk about different other things. I can come to you. We can shoot the breeze about what's going on during the week. We can talk about all kinds of random things, or just get into some classic debates. But just sticking to one specific topic, I've never been able to do that. And then in modern times, we talk about how people have ADHD. They don't really have, just because they don't feel like focusing on one thing for 4 hours doesn't mean that they have a disability or a disease. It just means that they don't give a shit about that long enough to stare at it for 2, 3, 4 hours. They might multitask. I multitask, but I don't have ADHD. I'm just a good worker. They don't think about that. They want to put them on Ritalin and give them Zoloft because pharmaceuticals make money off of giving all of their patients unnecessary drugs. But why do we have so many people getting hit with so many drugs when we could have literally just taken some melatonin, taken a salt tablet, taken an ass to bed at a good time, got up first thing in the morning, and been able to function? Because you can only sleep for so long. And if you take your ass to bed early, you're going to get up early because you're only going to sleep for so long. So instead of you staying up late and then setting an alarm clock that's going to force you to get up early, which is going to scare you out of your sleep, cause you to have a heart attack almost. So now you're having anxiety. That's where anxiety is going to come from, being scared out of your sleep every day. Then you're going to be tired. You're going to be fatigued. You're going to be cranky. Now you got to deal with people and their bullshit. You're dealing with fucked up attitudes. You're dealing with disrespectful folks. Shit don't go the way you want it to go. You're getting pissed off. And it's like, why does your day have to be like that? Well, because we're taught that if you take a drug, you might do good with that drug. That's not true. That's not true at all. That's not true at all. They're lying to you. They're lying to you, trying to get you to believe that if you take a bunch of pills, that you're going to live a happier life. No, you're just going to spend a bunch of money. And wait, you have health insurance. So you're not going to spend a bunch of money. You're going to pay a bunch of money in health insurance. And your health insurance is going to pay 3 times as much so you can get these drugs, so that you can take these drugs. Why do you think they're arresting those dope boys on the corner? Because you're taking money out of their pocket. Not because it's really a crime. It's because you're taking money out of the government's pocket because the pharmaceuticals can't make money off of drugs if they've got dope boys on the street corner selling the same drugs at a cheaper rate. It is what it is. Everything's a business. Look at how they legalize weed, and weed is still illegal. You can smoke a blunt with license to smoke a blunt and get fired off your job for failing a drug test. If it's legal, why are you being tested for it? It shouldn't be in the drug test on the job. If you could take 200 milligrams of gabapentin, if you could take 2,000 milligrams of gabapentin, go to work. You can smoke 2 blunts and go to work. It is what it is. Most of us that take medication, and that medication says, oh, you can't operate heavy machinery. Those of us that take medication and then operate the heavy machinery, you ain't firing us because we came to work. You glad we came to work, feeling like shit. Eyes red. If with pale skin, your skin all purple and shit. Came to work. You can do some of your job. But, let somebody say, oh, I can't come to work. I feel bad today. That's the 3rd time this month. We're going to have to start finding your replacement. But if you can smoke 3 blunts and then come to work every day, you failed the drug test because now you lose your job. So I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Our country, it's all about making money off of the next guy. And the more money that you can make off the next guy, the better it is for you. But truth of the matter is that it's better for us if we were able to put ourselves in a position to make money for ourselves. And it'd be better for us if we found better people in our network that would not allow us to go through the bullshit that we have to go through on a regular basis. Because then the less stress that we have, the better. Because look at what happened today. 3-hour, 5-minute podcast, spent 2 hours on the phone with tech support. Like, I should be pissed off to high heaven, but I'm not. Like, the most frustrating part that I had about that 2-hour phone call was the one gentleman that just refused to transfer. But that's the kind of stress that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. People believe that they have a false sense of authority where they believe that they can negatively impact your situation because they are the roadblock between you and your success. And I'm going to tell you that you can't let them get you mad. Like, even when I started getting a little tense on that call, you can't let them get you mad. You got to be able to tell them, hey, I understand that you want to control this scenario. But maintaining control of this scenario, I know what your job is. I know what your limitations are. And since I know that this is outside of your limitations, you cannot control this situation. And since I know that you cannot control this situation, I am going to control the situation. And I'm not going to cooperate with you the way you want me to cooperate with you because this is not in line with your authority. And since I'm demanding proper authority and you are not that, I can overrule whatever it is that you're trying to do. And notice when I escalated the call, I got to the supervisor, I explained everything to the supervisor. Supervisor was like, oh yeah, well, if you're not asking any personal questions about the account, they don't need to verify you for shit. They just can't answer any questions about your personal account. Exactly. So I'm like, all right, so if I call you and I say, let me talk technical support, you're just supposed to move me. If I call you, I say I want to talk to a manager, you're just supposed to move. You don't need to know what my name is. You don't need to know, why I called. You don't need to. If I called because I wanted to talk to a supervisor, you would be aiding me by just putting me on the phone with a supervisor. That's how you help me. But you're not helping me by trying to get all of my personal information, by logging my information into your queue. If you got paid per person that you communicated with and you told me the reason why you're getting my information is not necessarily for security reasons, it's for the fact that I get paid for each person that I talk to and I have to log you in as a person that I talk to. If you told me that shit, then I would have said, you know what? Let me give you my name. Let me give you my business name. Let me give you my phone number. Let me give you this, that, the other. That way you get paid, because I feel like everybody got to eat. I feel like everybody got to eat. So if it was in line with your pay scale, that you got paid per person and you have to type my name into the system so that you can get paid for talking to me on the phone, I would tell you who I am. But don't lie to me and tell me that you're logging me into your system for the sake of my security, because you're not logging me into the system for the sake of my security, because I didn't ask you a security question. I asked you to give me contact with one of your employees that is trying to make contact with me. So you don't have to verify me through me. You verify me through the person that just called me. You call that person and say, hey, the guy that you're trying to call is on the other line. That's it. Do you need to know who I am? Do you need to know who the other person is? I think you need to know who the other person is. You don't need to know who I am, because you need to know who you're talking to tell that person that somebody's on the phone with you. Y'all remember back in the day, and I know it don't matter where you are in the world, y'all remember back in the day when we used to have phones that was plugged into the wall, right? Not cell phones, before that, wall phones. Now, when the phone rang, whoever was closest to the phone answered the phone. When you answer the phone, the person on the other side of the phone say, can I speak to so-and-so? Your natural reaction is, who is this? But do you really need to know who the fuck this is? I asked you, can I speak to so-and-so? Is so-and-so here? If so-and-so is here, then I need to talk to that person. Oh, well, I need to know who you are in order for me to talk to so. That's not how this works. So when you're in that situation and somebody calls, say, hey, can I speak to so-and-so? And you look around, so-and-so ain't here. So-and-so's not here. Oh, all right, I'll call back. Done. But if I say, oh, let me talk to so-and-so. Oh, hold on a second. Hey, I don't know who this is, but you got a phone call. Ain't that how it used to work back in the day? So how did it become a security measure to drop me back into the call, drop me back into the list of people that's waiting to talk to a representative, just transfer me to a different department? If we were in person, you would have not gotten my information and you would have told me to go stand in that line over there. You ever flown a plane before? You go to the person, you stand in this long ass line, you get to the front desk. They can't answer your question. 2 windows over can answer your question. They won't get out the chair and go 2 windows over and go and ask that person what the answer is. They're going to tell you, get in that line that's got another 24 people in it, and you're going to wait until you get back to the fucking window so that they can answer you. But you've been in line for an hour, and they're going to put you back in another hour-long line so that you can, but they got to verify you first. Fuck out of here. You ain't verifying me. If I'm not talking to the person that can solve my problem or notate my problem, I ain't giving you shit. Because you got to remember, constitutionally, people are going to talk about Patriot Act. They're going to talk about this act. They're going to talk about that act. And I got the right to withhold information, because that Patriot Act works both ways. I got the right to not tell you who the fuck I am if you are not directly involved with me. You are just transferring me to somebody else. I don't need to tell you who I am. You get that experience with law enforcement here in America. They ask you who you are. You have, in some states, when you are accused or suspected of committing a crime, you have the obligation to identify yourself. But you don't have to provide them with the ID. You can just tell them who you are. But you don't have to provide them with your ID. You don't have to give them shit. The only time you have to show them the fact that you have the ID on your person is when you're operating a moving vehicle. But if you're walking, you don't got to give them shit. You choose to give it to them. But if they force you to give them something so that they could do something that they're not legally allowed to do, then you can sue them for it. Now, you have two choices. You could push the envelope and dare them to arrest you for it. And some of them won't. Some of them will get the supervisor over, and then they'll try to make excuses to make you feel better about why they're fucking up, and then without even apologizing, and then dismiss it. But others will actually assertively take you to jail for it. And if you're not trying to go to jail because you got shit to do later today, you typically surrender your rights in order to entertain the bullshit because you're not trying to get in trouble. But to me, some situations, those First Amendment guys that are in situations that they did not put themselves in, hey, I tell them, stand on them rights, bro. Stand on them rights. And I respect the fact that they stood on them rights. They went to jail. They go to court. They're fighting for those rights for the rest of us to know that we can go to court and fight for those rights. Because of those First Amendment guys that started shit unnecessarily, pissed off police and went to jail for it. Now we have police being arrested for shit that is wrong when it's always been wrong. They just never got held responsible for it before. Now they're being held responsible for it because of people like that went out there and said, oh, hey, you're not supposed to do X, Y, and Z. Some of us start gaining courage to be able to stand on our rights and stand on our principles and be able to say, oh, no, you're not supposed to fuck me over. You're not supposed to talk shit to me. You're supposed to do X, Y, Z. And since I know what you are allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do, I can tell you no, because I know it's within my rights to tell you no. When we learn that we don't got to do certain things, we don't got to allow ourselves to be involved in certain things, we don't have to allow ourselves to be mistreated by certain people because it is in our rights to be respected, to be treated a certain way, that is when we start improving our scenario and we start improving the way that we get treated by our general population. But that follows the responsibility of being able to treat people with the same level of respect. But until we start getting mutual respect, where we're respecting the people that we're expecting respect from, we're not going to get respect. So had I been yelling and fussing and cussing at the people that I was talking to on the phone, they wouldn't have helped me. But because I'm laid back, I'm nonchalant, I'm communicating with them, I'm explaining to them what the problem is, I'm telling them what I need them to do, and then I'm telling them how bad my situation is, and they're like, oh Lord, you was not supposed to be going through that. I know I'm not supposed to be going through that, but I need them to know that I'm not supposed to be going through that, so that they can say, you know what, let's bite the bullet on this one. Because when she found out, she's like, oh shit, none of his systems is working. Like, so you telling me that the whole business shut down right now? We hotspotting from cell phones, y'all. We hotspotting from cell phones, y'all. We got like no shit in order to make it make sense. So when we looking at the fact that some people will get mad, they'll get heated, and they will use yelling and fussing to push their point across, you're not right just because you're loud. If you're right, you're right. If what is happening to you is socially unacceptable and you say that what's happening to you is socially unacceptable and that is the correct statement, you can say that in a calm tone. You can say that in a low tone, loud enough for them to hear it, but low enough for them to know that you're not going to slap the shit out of them because it's not necessarily their fault that the product is fucking up. You can talk to a low tone when somebody got a piss poor attitude, and the reason why you're in this situation is because of their piss poor attitude. But in no situation do you got to blow your stack because the person that you're talking to ain't doing what you want them to do. There's no reason why you need to lose your cool and flip out on people who are not doing what you would prefer for them to do. And the reason why there's no reason for that is because I got a show coming up soon that's going to be talking about why, probably I think on Thursday or Friday this week, we're going to be talking about why the communication fall flat with certain people. It's because we let our emotions get the best of us and we're not able to properly communicate the information. And because we're not able to properly communicate the information, the person that is listening to us has turned off their brain. They are refusing to accept and respect the situation that we're going through. And they are no longer willing to cooperate with our situation, which then puts us in an even further compromised situation because the person that was supposed to be working with us is not working with us anymore. They're working against us. And because the person that is not working with us is working against us, now we're in the type of compromise situation that forces us to say, well, damn. And you got to start over. You either got to start the call over with a new person. You got to escalate it with a higher supervisor. You got to talk to the commander in chief. You got to talk to the CEO. You got to talk to the founder. You got to talk to a different person than the person that no longer wants to help. And then that new person will potentially understand your scenario because you're not mad at them. You're not cussing them out. You're not threatening them. You're explaining to them this shit went south and it's not supposed to go south. But it went south. And now that it is south, what are you going to do about that? Because it's your job. In America, some of the not constitutional, it's case law. It's called supervisor respondent. It is a term that says that the supervisor is the first person responsible to respond to customer complaints that is supposed to rectify that customer complaint. So when I say, hey, I have a problem with the person at the front desk, the boss is supposed to come from the back, or the manager of the shift is supposed to come from the back. That's the first responder to my complaint. The supervisor responded. The first responder, that is the supervisor of the complaint. And that supervisor is supposed to fix my complaint. In this particular situation, I got the supervisor to transfer me to somebody who was able to help me out with my problem, but she couldn't really fix the problem. She could just give me the ease of mind to know the whole city is out. Not the neighborhood, the whole city is out. Because you got to understand that a tower usually provides service to 50 to 100 miles. And the nearest 3 towers to my area is about 100 to 150 mile radius. That is out of service. And the size of the state that I'm located in, that is 2/3 of the state, or at least 1/3 of the state. At the very least, it's 1/3 of the state has no internet service right now. So I'm on the northeast side of the state. The northeast side is in a blackout of network. The southeast side has good coverage. So in order for me to improve my coverage, my best bet is to go to the southeast side. But from where I started at to where I am right now, I'm only like 15 blocks away from the first location I was at. So I still would have been dealing with the same network problem. But the difference is that with cell phone towers is that when one tower goes down, you get redirected to the next tower. The 3 towers closest to me are all down. So I don't even have a backup plan. That's like your battery, your backup battery, your backup battery, your backup to your backup battery all going down at the same time. That's like the battery in your car going dead, your alternator's gone, and the backup battery, the jump box is dead. You can't jump your car off now because all 3 solutions are all gone. You got nothing. You got nothing. And in those situations, you can't do shit, but just sit there and wait for a tow truck because every solution that you plan for ain't working out in your favor all at the same time. It's like having 4 flat tires and the spare got no air in it. You see what I'm saying? You can't do shit now. You just like, well, damn. You know, it would have been different if I only had 1 flat. But you telling me that all my tires is flat and the extra tires are flat too? It's like can't even change, can't change it out with something else because everything's broke at the same time. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me, Red. I know this has been an early morning for you. This is one of the good days that we get to spend 3 hours and some change together, hanging out, talking. I more than likely going to try my best to get us started on time tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about this strike that's going on. I know it's not listed on YouTube right now. I'm going to listen tonight after I get off the podcast, but that's going to be the reason why I'm getting off is because I want to set up tomorrow's show because we're going to be talking about the strike because from Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and Texas, all of the warehouse people, all of the people that ship shit on the East Coast, the Southeast Coast, all protesting at the same time. They're trying to get a raise, 80% raise. We're going to be talking about that, how it's impacting the country, all that other stuff. So I want to do a little bit of digging, get a little bit of research before tomorrow's show so we can talk about the ins and outs of that and what the ramifications of this situation is going to be. You know they're going to get some of it. They're not going to get all of it. They're going to get some of it, but right after they get it, they're going to get replaced with machines because, I mean, machines don't protest. But we got to go into the ins and outs of what's going on tomorrow. So I appreciate you guys sticking it out with me. I gave you guys an extra hour over TikTok because you guys were important, especially you guys on Twitch. I really appreciate y'all for coming to the show. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow night. Thank you for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow.